18 minutes in, and let's begin. Hello, everyone. Today's guest is the lovely Kanashi Noir, super duper sweetheart, and just an amazingly kind and genuine person. I know you as a VRchat streamer primarily, and I think you pretty much just stream VRchat occasionally. You might play a desktop game here or there, but how would you describe yourself and your content and the streams that you do?
So I didn't start out VRC streaming actually.
Mm-hmm.
It took a few months to kind of settle in on the type of content that I think I wanted to make. And it happened to be VRC completely by accident. Um, it wasn't my original plan. I love VR, but I wasn't in it that often.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a wild hair. And having watched friends do it and other people, that I enjoy their content, I was like, I'm just jump in and see how it goes. And it turned out to be some of the most fun that I'd had streaming, like hands down. Because the thing that I struggle with desktop streams, and I still like to do them, as much as I can, is you can't interact with like the people watching as much or as naturally it feels because there's
Yeah.
this weird disconnect from you and the screen in the game, and you can't like reach out and give a head pat or things that you might want to do to help people feel comfy or cozy or like more like they're part of what's going on and less like they're just watching something. So that's sort
Right.
of
Right.
how it ended up, and I've just ran with it ever since, and it's
Mm-hmm.
turned into this life consuming thing that I know I don't hate for sure. I love it, but it does take up a large chunk of one's time if you plan to
It
spend
does.
enough time into it.
Yeah. How long have you been streaming now?
A little over a year now, a year
Okay.
and some months. I didn't really keep track because I'm not much of like the milestones type of person.
Yeah.
Um, but I can usually judge by like one of my friends who will like do a follow age, and it's been like we've been here 16 months, for instance, like at 12
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. And I'm like, wow, it's been that long.
Yeah. And time really flies, I think. I mean, life just flies by, but then, like, when you actually. I don't think ever in my life have I had, like, a follow-age count where I would kind of keep track of time or something that I've been doing
Hmm.
that long. So it's always a trip when I see someone who's been following or subbed for, like, 16 months. It's kind of incredible and makes me
I
really
feel like
happy. Yeah?
for you, that would almost feel like the norm at this point. Like you have such a dedicated, community behind you that's, super lovable. And I think a lot of people who find you end up staying with you because of what you do and what you manage to like bring to the table as far as like streaming goes. I'm always here, so
Oh, you're oh, thank you,
it's
and
just
thank you for
true.
everyone who has stuck around me. But it's just like with anything, people come and go. But there are
Hmm.
there are definitely some people who've stayed with me, and I appreciate everyone. Everyone here pretty much has been someone. Someone,
Hmm.
Kitty Lavilia, you're so cute. I love you. I know I didn't say I wouldn't say hi to the chat, but oh man, she's so cute.
Wow.
Um, but yeah. I mean, I treasure everyone who's been here and all my lovely friends. Like I see Seahorse in my chat and Kitty DVR, who I've only really known for maybe 6 or 7 months, like in terms of us being friends.
Hmm.
But yeah, and welcome everyone, by the way, who saw me on Puck's interview. Today's guest, for everyone who's just joining, is my lovely friend Kanashi Noir, who I think I've known maybe about a year now, maybe a little less. I'm not. I think around
Ah,
there. Um,
yeah, actually,
maybe about
because
maybe a year.
we met in my original avatar that I used for
Mm-hmm.
VRC stream, like the very first one.
Yeah.
Um, and so you've seen the slow progression to like what it is today, oddly enough. So
Yeah.
about a year, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so I guess this is a question I've been asking like everyone that comes on, and something I'm genuinely interested in, because I don't think I know this about you, but how long have you been playing VR chat, and like what was your kind of first initial experience with the VR? Like who introduced you to it? How did you get into it?
So originally, VR chat was not my main reason for getting into VR,
Mm-hmm.
like whatsoever. But I'd watched some YouTube on it, and I'd had some people that I'd met that were streaming it, and I was like, this looks cool. So I decided to take the dive. Originally as a questie, but that only lasted about a day, and I was like, nah, this is terrible. I'll get a PC. Because like I couldn't see any of my friends, unfortunately. But all in all, I only have like maybe 2,000 hours on the platform, so not a huge amount compared to like a lot of other people, like say yourself and other people I've known that are like sitting in the 5, 6, 10,000 range. So, but I find myself in VR chat almost daily now as like a ritual for like either whether it's stream related or not. Ooh, hip cat decided to sit next to me.
Oh.
She's like tracker. Um, so yeah, it's almost daily now for me at this point. So I spend almost as much time in VR as I do during a workday. So a little over 2,000 hours now, I think, coming up to it in about a year,
Hmm.
give or take. So I missed all the crazy at the beginning of VR chat's inception. Some of the memes that were spawned here that are what kind of introduced me to it, like the Knuckles memes and some of the other stuff many people see. I didn't really get to experience that
Mm-hmm.
like some did, but
Mm-hmm. And like, okay, so you've been having it for a year now, and
mm-hmm.
that's not too long. I mean, compared to a lot of
Mm-mm.
people who've been here. Has it had a positive influence on your life? Like, has it? I know for me, it's changed my life completely in terms of my social life and like kind of giving me some self confidence and helping with my social anxiety. Like, what are some ways do you think that VR has helped you in your life?
It has been like a driving force of like positivity for me because
Yeah.
like I can look at it compared to IRL stuff, right? And look at all the friendships I've made through VR. And like some of these people I would consider like my absolute best friends.
Yeah.
They're people that I see more than some of my family at this point in VR, but
Mhm.
still it's as close as you can get to being around someone even if they're on the other side of the world. And I can fortunately say 90% of my interactions on the platform have been positive ones.
Yeah.
Um, and two, I get to experience things that, like, if you sit down and think about it without VR being there, sorry, cat,
It's
without
okay.
being able to be in VR, putting on the headset and stuff, you would never experience as a person in your natural life, whether it be for monetary reasons or location or just the general ability to do certain things or see things. So it's been both mind blowing and mind opening because, two, you get to know so many more types of people who are so much more comfortable with like being themselves that you
Mhm.
wouldn't see if you ran into them on the street. So
Yeah.
it's
Totally.
it's been a huge it's been a huge positive, I guess, would be the short and dirty answer to that. Yeah.
Mhm. What were you kind of up to like before VR? Like, were you playing games? I mean, were you working? I know you're.
I was
Uh,
working a lot.
yeah.
Working a lot. I was trying to do more like action sports, quote unquote, because I enjoyed certain things like biking and other things.
Mhm.
Um, Funnily enough, what drove me towards spending more time in VR and jumping on a VR chat was a really bad accident that ended up, destroying my right wrist and hand.
Oh
Not
gosh.
to the point where it's not like normal now, but
Yeah.
it shattered the wrist and two fingers and some other stuff, and it put me out of biking and everything for like 6 months. And so, stuck inside, you have to find something to do with yourself. And
Yeah.
naturally, I shifted to being in VR more because it let me see more people and feel it like I was living a normal life.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Wait, wow, what happened again? You like fell off a dirt bike or something? Or like
No, mountain biking.
mountain biking, okay.
So they have these things called gravity parks, which is just like ski resorts, but in the summertime when it's dry,
Mhm.
they turn them into like mountain bike parks. And I was following a friend who was far more skilled than I that races them, and we went into what's called a rock garden at like Mock Chicken, and it's just basically an assortment of boulders, half buried. And I caught a bad one and ended up basically crushing my hand and wrist between my helmet and one of those boulders when I went down.
Oh no.
It hurt,
That sounds
but
terrible.
not as bad as you would think. It hurt worse
Yeah.
after
Yeah. Right.
than the initial impact. So, you know.
Oh, that sucks. Are you fully healed now?
Oh, yeah, it still makes some crunchy noises every once in a while, but it's
Yeah.
okay. I
Oh.
never went to the doctor for it. Like, I got everything checked out by the medics on site, and they're like, you need to go get it to the hospital and get it put in a cast. I was like, I live in America. I can't afford that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll just buy a brace from CVS and let it rip.
Yeah. Oh man, health insurance sucks.
Yeah.
Um. So you do work. You don't do content creation full time, but you do it a significant
Mhm.
amount. How often do you stream again? Like,
I stream, give or take five nights a week. I try to.
wow. Yeah.
But short stints. I can't do like I see some people that do like these 4, 5, 6 hour streams. I wish.
Yeah.
Um, that takes well it that a lot of people don't realize, especially in VR, that takes a lot of like mental fortitude to like accomplish because it's eye strain. If you're up and moving, your body's moving. You're not sitting in a chair. I mean, you can be cozy, obviously, but you're still in the situation. It's not like playing games on a computer where you've got mouse, keyboard, and you're just kind of doing your thing. You're physically there in a sense, so it takes a lot more of you to do that. I find. I mean, again, you do 14-hour streams, and I mean,
Not
I've
always in
seen other
VR,
people.
but yeah.
Well, some of it
Sometimes,
was,
yeah. Yeah.
but 2 hours on average is what I try to be. Um, 5 nights a week, as long as I can manage it. You know.
Honestly, I think that's the way to do it. Like there's definitely some what am I looking for? That expression. You definitely I mean like it there's no real benefit to streaming super super long. Like I think just like you
Well,
max out, yeah.
there's advantages and disadvantages I've
There
noticed.
are. Yeah.
Because it's a 2 hour block, you'll notice like people that come in, especially towards the later half, want to be there for longer, or
Yeah,
they're only able to
true.
reach that later half.
Yeah, right.
Um, as opposed to if I went for 3, 4, then those people could come in and vibe longer, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Very
positive,
true.
I get to work on other things outside of stream,
Yeah, right.
and spend time with friends and that kind of stuff as well. So
Yeah, there's a trade-off. Yeah, and I do miss doing my 24-hour. I don't know. I mean, I don't miss doing 24 hours, but I do miss doing like 6 or 7 hours a few times a week.
mhm.
But unfortunately, I've just been so busy and with my job and with other things. But like you said, it takes a lot out of you. And I think doing it maybe instead doing it more days, but in shorter stints, I think is more manageable and more. I don't know. It doesn't take as much out of you, I don't think, doing 2 hour stints. Like it's very, very relaxed, and you can get some time to sleep and do whatever, spend time with friends.
Yeah, and
Um,
then too, it becomes like it builds like a routine, like working out or something. You just
right?
kind of like
Yeah,
you don't have to think about it, per se. I mean, you still think about it, but like you're like, okay, this is what I'm doing, and I know this is exactly what I'm doing at this time every day. So mentally you're already prepared for it going in a lot of times, which is
yeah,
nice. It takes a lot of stress. I used to have huge anxiety
yeah. Mm.
um, when it comes to streaming, just because talking to people is scary. It
Really, you're
is.
such a natural. I think, on talking with people.
I've forced myself to try and get over my introvertedness as best I can. It's not
Mm-hmm.
perfect, but I'm getting better.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually very introverted as well. I think some people think I'm not, but I definitely am as well. And streaming and just being social definitely it drains your social battery quite a bit,
It
and as
does.
an introvert especially. Do you think you've become a little bit more extroverted since you started streaming and doing VR and stuff?
Incredibly so. I think
Yeah.
I've been more comfortable with myself as a person.
Yeah.
because like I'm able to talk to people, and it's not so much like learning to talk to people, it's just getting comfortable with just like putting yourself on display, so to speak, and like not worrying about what people may or may not think, whether it be negative or positive, just kind of letting go of everything and just being yourself and enjoying things and focusing on just having fun for a little bit. And that's made a huge impact on me socially, I think, with people both in real life and, in VR. Uh, a lot of the stuff I've picked up on from stream, I use in my day to day job, which
Interesting.
helps. Yeah, I sit in a call queue as part of my job, so people call in, and I'm able to just like, no matter how bad of a day I may be having, when I answer that line, I can just, you know what, okay, it's time to. I have a job to do. They need help. I'm here to help them. At least make it a good experience for them, for me to like be on the line with that person. So,
Yeah,
you know.
definitely. I think that's like one of the more underrated aspects of VR is the ability to practice just socializing and communicating so much and sort of
Mhm.
being kind to people and being patient with people is one of those things. And like I yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing how much I feel like I've taken so much from VR and incorporated in my real life. Um, One of them trying to be like a anime girl IRL. I think that's something I'm
That's the
trying to do.
goal.
That's
That's
the
the real end
goal.
goal.
Yeah, that is the end goal.
If I
um,
could take a pill and look like this, like wake up tomorrow, count me in. I don't care what the negatives are. Let's do this.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Relatable. So I know you as like one of, and I genuinely mean this. I'm not like blowing smoke or anything, but I think you're one of the comfiest and sweetest streamers on Twitch,
Mhm.
not just in VRchat, on us that I know. And um, where does I know it comes from a different place for everyone, but where does that come from? Like just your kindness and just being like a comfy, cozy person.
So that's actually really tough, right? Because like the easy answer is just like empathy, right? Like,
Yeah,
at the end of the day, but I've been through different parts of my life that have affected me differently, and I've s- I've seen like both the good and bad of the human, brain and stuff, and like
yeah,
when people come in and sit down and sit in my, I want them to feel something other than just like the negativity of the day or just whatever it may be. I want them to just be able to sit down, relax, and just enjoy some time to not think about stuff in general. Or if you do think about stuff, maybe get it off your chest and feel better, because life's hard and everybody deserves some happiness.
yeah,
Um, and part of it, for those who don't know, I am a parent IRL. A lot of people have started to figure that out as I've been more open about it. But so I approach it with the same mindset that I do with my daughter. Because you can be bombastic and this and that, but that doesn't always get through to people or like get through to her. It's better
mhm,
to just sit down, work through whatever it is. And I'm not a high energy person to begin with. I don't have the energy of someone like Puck or Vetty, for instance, who I love seeing, whenever they hang around you, just these
yeah,
balls of fire. I would I would literally shut down and pass out after about 45 minutes of trying to accomplish that. And
yeah,
I found that keeping an even tempo and just moving through and showing everybody as much kindness as possible has been something that I enjoy doing, because it makes me feel good to just be nice to people, right?
yeah,
Like sometimes you don't need a reason to be nice, just
yeah,
because you want to be.
yeah. I totally feel that. Like, I know. I mean, I definitely have had stuff in my past where I was really hurt or I maybe hurt people, and that stuff is stuck with me. And I'm just like, I don't really want that in my life. I prefer to be good to people. But at this point, it's like it just feels better to be kind than to not be kind. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know if
I
that's like
mean,
a reason, but that's
no, I
yeah,
agree. No, no, no. I agree. I was a
yeah,
terrible kid growing up. I was
yeah,
horrible.
me too.
Like, I feel bad for my parents. I genuinely do. I was
Oh,
awful growing up. And I think as I got older, something switched and was like, what, at some point you go, why are you doing this? Like what do you have to gain from just being angry all the time or sad or depressed or whatever have you? Like, why when you can just, I'm not going to say being happy is easy because depression is a real thing, and sometimes it's a chemical imbalance and you can't always help that, but like, just because you're sad doesn't mean that you have to push that sadness onto others,
yeah,
and sometimes that give and take of that kindness that's some often reflected back can help you, in more ways than you'd realize, so.
that is very true. Actually, is that one thing you'll notice if you send love to people? Most of the time, you'll get love back, and people are
Hmm.
pretty appreciative of it. The worst thing that happens when you reach out to someone and show kindness is that they don't respond. Never will they be like, "Screw you," like they won't respond with like
Yeah.
with anger, or like
But,
meanness usually.
most of the
Uh,
time the worst you're going to get is some indifference, but
yeah, some
that's okay.
indifference, or maybe they're a little incredulous, or maybe a little wary of your intentions. But like Kitty DVR, they are, and to be fair to them, they've had people
Take
um,
advantage of them
take
and stuff
advantage
of
of
that
them
nature.
and stuff. Yeah, and I've had
That's
that too, which is a bummer, which sucks. And yeah, sorry, what were you
that's a
saying?
huge fear. No, like that I
Yeah,
have of like when I try and be nice to someone is I don't want people to think that I'm doing it for any other reason than just I want to be nice to people,
yeah,
right? I don't have to be. I have a temper like any other human being, sure, but like it takes a lot to get there. And so far, like almost no one that I've met in VR has ever done anything that would put me in that direction, right? I just want to be nice, make friends, talk to people, live a comfortable life, and part of that is
yeah.
not just jumping at the gun to like do things. And I'm afraid sometimes, and this is one thing I was afraid of, like when I met you, I was actually incredibly afraid of you the first time we ever spoke. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
I was a You could have like compared me. I may be a wolf girl, but I could have been a chihuahua. Because I was
oh,
just like, here's this person. Because I've been watching your content, and I still look up to you in a very big way, right? You're a
oh,
very huge influence
so
on like
sweet.
how I look and do it, how I look at things and do things. I like the fact that you showed me that kindness. I was not ready for. I
Oh,
was like, there's this person that like has so much on their plate and so many people that like are far more deserving of their time, right? What am I doing here? So
hmm.
like I was incredibly afraid, and I
Oh.
it's just true, and I get like that with people. I got like that sort of with Kitty a little bit the first time I met them.
Yeah.
But they turned out to be super nice too, and so many people. It's I don't ever want anyone, I guess, to circle back around. I keep trailing off, but I don't want people to think that my kindness comes with a price,
Right.
right? And
Yeah.
that's a huge fear.
And like,
Like,
sorry, go ahead.
no, 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 no. Go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I feel like it's no one's fault that they might feel like why, or they might be a little incredulous, like, why is this person nice to me? Because that comes from probably prior negative experiences where people have had ulterior motives, or because for
Hmm.
whatever reason, unfortunately, like, just being kind to strangers is not like the norm. Like if you say go into a public lobby or something, I'm sure everyone's experienced this who's been in VRchat. Someone will just start yelling like slurs at you for no reason. And I was a kid once. I was like 14 and bored once, and I did stupid stuff. But like
Yeah,
it
but
takes a toll. Like it's not you're not actually communicating with people. You're just kind of getting your kicks. And I
You're
got.
just yelling into the ether,
You're
kind
just
of.
yelling into the ether. Yeah, pretty much. And
But I think when we were 14, 15 years old, because that wasn't a thing, right? We didn't have VR to like jump on and just like,
no.
go ham.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like, sure, there was like chat rooms and stuff, but even then, that was like somewhat increasingly rare. Most of the time, you had your friends on your call list, and
Yeah.
that's what you would do.
Yeah.
Like, I remember a time before Xbox Live, unfortunately, you know. So for me, I never had that experience of like wanting to run around and just say horribly mean things. I was still a bad kid. I set stuff on fire, whatever have you, you know. But
What? Were you an
there's
arsonist?
okay, yes and no,
Yes
not
and
on
no.
purpose. Not on, we once set a friend's kitchen sink on fire because we
Oh
wanted to
heck.
see if you could like we we coated the entire sink in hairspray, and then for some reason they decided to light it. It didn't go out as planned. We did put it out though. We did not burn the house down.
Yeah.
But we were just being dumb kids. We were just like shh, trying to make a fireball, you know. Except maybe not indoors was not a smart option.
Yeah. Sometimes you
Dumb
gotta light
kids.
stuff on fire. I don't know. Like it's a thing, I guess.
We got out of one instance where we had taken. I'm gonna sound really dumb right now, right?
No, you're
And
not gonna sound dumb.
we had taken a pair of rollerblades
Yeah.
and we had like held them together with like a paper bag and a zip tie, and like my friend's bright idea was to light it on fire and like watch it roll just to like see what it would look like, you know, if it looked like in the
Oh
movies.
my god.
Right? So his mom walks outside and catches us in the act.
Yeah.
I am not even, you know how we got out of like getting in major trouble?
Oh.
He was smart. He told his mom. He looks at her dead in the face, and she's like, "What the f are you guys doing?" Da-da. She was a science teacher. He's like, "We were testing the durability of a moving flame."
Yeah.
I wish I was kidding, but she goes, "Get inside." That was the end of it. She
Get
just didn't
inside.
get mad.
Alright.
Yeah, she's just, that's it. Because he was able to, I guess, make it sound like we actually had a reason for just lighting rollerblades on fire. I don't know. It was dumb.
That's a smooth answer. I mean, what is she gonna say?
She couldn't get mad, you know.
Yeah.
She's like,
I was
science
You're
teaching worked.
curious. Yeah.
And kind of we were,
Yeah.
sort of. I mean, I was just like, let's light it on fire and go, you know. I had no prior thought to anything. I was just like, cool stuff, burn it down,
Yeah.
you know, like any other like 11-year-old. I was just
Yeah.
dumb.
I think we're all dumb when we were 11 years old. I mean, like, maybe some of us are precocious or something, but we all did, like, questionable things, I think. Because it's out of curiosity, though. I mean, you're not dumb, but you're like, you probably wouldn't do that as an adult because, you know, like, hey, this could
Go terribly
seriously,
wrong.
yeah, this could go terribly wrong, and there are some consequences that could happen, but I don't
You
think
know,
it
like
makes you
prison
dumb.
time.
Like prison,
You know.
probably not for an 11-year-old. Maybe, I don't know.
As an
for
adult, if
juvie.
you accidentally light the forest on fire, you're probably gonna, you know, see some
True.
consequences. As an 11-year-old, they're
Yeah.
gonna be like, "You're grounded," you know.
Yeah.
That to any 11-year-olds watch, don't do that.
Yeah.
Just
Don't do. So I hope there are no 11-year-olds watching. We'd have to ban
GTA
you.
exists. Go ham there
Yeah.
on Grand Theft Auto. You know, that's the
Yeah.
beauty of video games. You don't have to be destructive IRL.
True.
You can just let it all out in a virtual space.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever play GTA?
I love GTA. It's super
I love
fun.
GTA too. Did you get the remastered collection? This is such a random question, but
I have not, and only because like I tend to wait on those things to kind of see what they're gonna be
yeah.
when they come out. And
Yeah.
like so far, I haven't heard
That one's
anything
bad.
amazing.
Yeah, that one's terrible.
Yeah,
Apparently lately it's been getting better, but I know. Anyway, I love GTA, and I loved I remember I think I was maybe. I don't remember how old I was when GTA 3 came out, but it was really fun running around with like a flamethrower or something.
my first GTA was Vice City, So I consider
Okay.
myself
Yeah, that
lucky.
one's really good. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. We'll get back to non GTA talk. Um, you've been streaming for about a year now. I don't think I asked you like what in particular like inspired you to just turn on your camera or get on stream and like just start streaming. Were there any? Did you have any influences? Like, were you watching anyone streaming, in VRchat or
So
otherwise? Or because I know you said you started out not streaming VRchat, right?
yeah,
Um,
so my first I I did not really watch Twitch a whole lot before.
mhm.
Like I got into it completely by accident. Um, so I created a Twitter, and I don't even remember why I created my Twitter account originally. Right? I think it was like to catch up with a friend who has had a school page for like a band thing. It's been a long time, but I jump on, and there happened to be a pinned post that was retweeted from a VTuber, and I had no idea what any of it was. And so I click on it, watch it. It's like, this is super cool, right? Um, and so I'm like joining that community, and I'm slowly seeing like what it's all about. And I'm like, this looks super fun. Um, and I guess kind of the driving force behind it, and it's going to sound awful, but it was depression, right?
Mhm.
I wanted an outlet to do something creative,
Yeah.
that I thought would be fun to do, and to just get out there and like just do something other than the monotonous day to day that I was so used to living,
Yeah.
whether it be like my 9 to 5 job, or just coming home and doing the same thing, sitting in front of a TV, playing video games or whatever. I was like, I want to do something fun and constructive that maybe one day will have some value to it down the road. Maybe not immediately, but like, whether there be a YouTube channel or music or something, and streaming just happened to be that thing that I got stuck in with and fell in love with, and have kept going with it, and wanted to get better at it and improve, and just keep having fun with it. And it just happened to lead to like a billion amazing friendships that I don't know how or why, or you know what brought it all on as far as that goes. But I couldn't imagine a life without doing it now. I
Yeah.
think that's harder to imagine than before.
Wow, that's a
So
great point. Yeah, I kind of am similar. Like I just kind of, I mean, I always wanted to stream, and I guess I had mental blocks. Like, oh, I don't know if I'd be able to do that. And then I just did it, and I kept doing it, and I mean, I fell in love with it, and it's all I wanted to do. And I stream. I used to stream a lot more than I do now, but I still think about it all the time, and it's like pretty much my favorite thing to do. And it is such a nice
yeah,
creative outlet.
it
It's
gets to a point where you look forward to doing
yeah.
it, and then you look forward to the interactions
Mhm.
with people while you're doing it becomes like a bright spot on your day.
Yeah.
You just like, no matter how bad your day is, like, this is going to be fun. I'm going to love doing this.
Yeah.
So,
I think a lot of streamers can relate to that, especially the part about just breaking up the monotony of day-to-day
mhm.
life. And I think before I had streaming, it was just so mean, I was pretty depressed too. I mean, before VR in general, I was just like, I know I still have bouts of depression, but like I was just so
Mhm.
lonely and like just going through the motions of like going to work, coming home, watching whatever, playing some games, and just kind of feeling like just like I was just drifting or kind of coasting, you know?
Yeah, you feel like life doesn't have like real meaning to it. I mean, it
Yeah.
does. Everyone's life has some meaning, right? But like, this could be because of maybe depression, like you were saying, is you feel like you're wasting away.
Yeah.
Like there's some part of you that knows that there's something else you should be doing with your time, other than like,
Right. Yeah.
what you're doing in that moment. And sometimes it ends up being like streaming, or sometimes it's that kid who picks up a guitar
Mhm.
and just starts writing music. For everyone it's a little different, but
Yeah.
it's just finding that creative outlet that I think humanity's kind of lost, the more interconnected and more business oriented we've gotten over the years.
Yeah, I think it's so important to have some kind of creative outlet. It doesn't have to be stream, it could be drawing or theater or whatever, music is a
Anything,
big one.
yeah.
Anything, or maybe like a physical activity or something, but something to just break up the monotony of working, because like,
Well, like, and something to like give you a drive to like want to
right,
get better,
yeah,
because everybody's like, you should want to get better at your day job. Sure,
sure,
absolutely,
yeah,
but that's purely monetary. That's not like a soul thing, like
yeah,
getting better at a sport or artwork or just anything. Like that stuff's good for the soul.
yeah. I also find myself being more motivated at work because I have something else outside of work that I'm working for.
You get to look forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah. And just, yeah, when it's just working for work's sake or, money's sake, it's just, I don't know. It's just so empty feeling, I guess.
It's
Um,
funny because I started my current job, and at first, because of the scheduling and like how far I was driving every day, I thought like it was gonna keep me from being able to stream, and I literally, and you can kind of ask, I broke down and cried
no.
because like I was having like incredible mental stress thinking about like I'm gonna have to give up streaming, and then I'm not gonna be able to do this, but I have to do this job, and it was
Yeah.
awful until it like finally leveled out, and I was able to like find something that worked, you know.
Yeah. I think, and this isn't the case for everyone, but I do feel like when you truly are passionate about something, you'll figure out a way to do it. Even if it takes some time before you get there, you'll figure out a way to incorporate it in your life. I always wanted to like create content and stream, and it took me years, years and years of working jobs before I could even afford a VR or a computer and stuff. And sometimes it just takes years and years before you get to that point. But if you really, really are passionate about something, you'll make it happen.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean and that's you can technically apply that to really any part of your life.
Yeah.
If the want is big enough, you'll create the need, but you also create a way to fulfill that want.
Yeah.
So if you want to own a boat or whatever it is, you'll find a way to make it work, whether it be
Yeah.
working more hours, picking up odd jobs, um, or just spending time doing the thing to get better at it. You'll get there if you want it bad enough.
Yeah.
With within reason. Not everybody's gonna fly to space,
Yeah.
but you
I
know,
mean, if you really want it, you can. If you really want it.
yeah, but you're probably only gonna do it once.
Yeah.
Um,
True.
so, and I
Um.
don't, within an achievable goal, if you want
Right.
it bad
Right.
enough,
Yeah.
you can make it happen.
And
You
something
know.
that's really hard, I think, is to, well, not hard, but it doesn't come naturally a lot, is just figuring out what you love in life. And I think that takes time too. And I think it takes a little bit of just taking some risks and just trying some different things until you figure out what you love, I guess. Because, I've done things and maybe stuff I was passionate about when I was like 12, for
Hmm.
instance, like I'm not so passionate about anymore. And sometimes as you get older, you lose interest in things. But
You do, yeah.
yeah, it's,
I I find some people are lucky to be like born knowing what they love,
yeah,
right?
true.
And for the rest of us, you'll either find it because you're looking for it, or it'll just run into you at random,
Yeah,
and it will become like an obsession, And you're off to the races then once you find it, of course, but
yeah,
you know, it can be tough to find because you can think you'll love something, right? And then you'll get stuck in on it, and then you'll realize, well, this isn't maybe what I thought it was, and
yeah.
you lose that interest, and now you've sunk in time and effort, and you feel like you've wasted that time,
Right,
and it
yeah.
can be a struggle for sure.
And that's okay, by the way, I think, is that, like, there are some things in your life where you might have spent a long time on it and you realize you're not so passionate about it, but that's just a period in your life and you shouldn't, like, regret that. That was something you did and you were passionate about it at the time. Um,
Hmm.
doesn't mean that it was a waste of time. You're just moving
Yeah,
on to something else.
it's like I love mountain biking until it almost crippled me, and then I was like,
Oh,
maybe I don't love it as much as I thought I did.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I'm not upset about it. Like, I had fun doing it. It was a great way to stay in shape, and you know. But did I love it enough to get back on the bike after the accident? No, no. Um, and that's an easy one, right? The harder one is like, I love playing music. Am I good at it? No, very much not so. But
I'm
I don't.
so curious about because you play guitar. I didn't know until you told me like a little while ago. You play electric guitar, right? And like,
Well,
or
I play both acoustic, electric. My first acoustic
yeah.
was a gift from my father on my 8th birthday. And he was like, "Here's a guitar. Here's this like really poorly written book on how to play guitar. Go ham."
Yeah.
and I did for a while, and I tortured my parents with really, really out of tune, just
Oh,
anything I could think to play. Um, and
that's relatable.
after, yeah,
Yeah.
after after my dad realized that I was dedicated enough to it to continue working on it, then he bought me an electric guitar.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Which I don't have. I still have the acoustic though, but I don't have the electric anymore. Um, it was sold a long time ago, and I've since got other guitars and stuff like that. But I don't practice enough to pretend like I'm good at it. It's one of those things. It's a use it or lose it skill, and I have not been using it as much as I should be.
I mean, are you
I forgot.
passionate about it? Do you love playing it? Like,
I love playing it. It's making the time for it, right? Because,
yeah.
well, you know better than anyone, music in and of itself, with an instrument anyway, you have to make the time to do it. You can't just like pick it
True.
up when you want to and
Yeah.
everything will be okay. If you get to a certain skill set with, let's say, the guitar, and then you put it down and you come back 6 months later, you are
Oh,
not
can't
going
be
to be
that
where you
long.
are.
You can take like a month off, but not
Yeah.
6 months. No.
Well, that's what I mean, though. Like, if you come back
Yeah.
even 2 or 3, you're not going to be at that skill set anymore. You're going to have to work back right up to it.
Yeah.
Because
It comes
your
back,
fingers,
but
yeah,
yeah,
but
true.
it
But
gets
don't let
harder
that
over
limit
time.
you, Kana. You can do it. Just keep. Here's what helped me a lot, and you work from home, don't you?
I
Like,
do, I do.
just keep your guitar next to you, and if you ever have like a minute or two, you don't have to practice for hour-long stretches. Practicing for 5 or 10 minutes here and there, just noodling around, just getting. It's more like with anything, right? Getting your brain past the initial starting phase. That's the hardest
Hmm.
part, and like just sort of getting, like you were talking about, like working out. It's just making it a habit and a ritual.
Yeah, because when I was playing like actively, I would do like spider walks up and down the fretboard for like 45 minutes at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, before I would even play or attempt to play a song, I would sit there and I would just work my way up and down the fretboard just to like get comfortable and try and be faster and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, after that, then I might play along with a song that I liked, or practice just blues improvisation or whatever.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I used to not work from home for a long time, so given that time
Fair.
frame
Yeah.
plus
Fair.
life and stream, I
Yeah.
kind of set it off to the side.
Yeah. And that's okay.
Um,
You can always come back to it too. Um,
I
I just
want
I just
to.
think music is one of those things that I think everyone should have music in their life. Even if you don't play anything, like listening to music at least, you
Yeah,
should listen to music. You should just feels
and
makes life feel better.
and there's like a very specific type of like a mental reward you get
Yeah.
whenever you like learn a song or you accomplish even something small, right?
Yeah.
Like, that sense of like, I I don't know if it's endorphins or like what, but like you just get this huge like, wow, that was amazing, or that sounded awesome, no matter how small of a thing it may be. Like,
Yeah.
it's a huge pick me up whenever you are able to play something on an instrument and it sounds beautiful, even if it's just to you. Like,
Yeah.
that's a good feeling.
Yeah. It is a really good feeling, and I know there's like pieces that I tried to learn like a decade ago, and I could never play them because I didn't. I would give up, and I'd be like, I can't do this, and now I can, and it's a good feeling. It is a good feeling of being able to do something that you thought was kind of out
You'd
of your
never,
grasp,
yeah.
right?
And
Um,
guitar, I think, is probably not the best instrument for that, I think.
it depends.
It depends on what you want to do with it. Yeah, I think there are so many more cool and interesting instruments that people like either don't know exist or like don't think are cool to play. That in my mind, if somebody picked up like I forget what it's called, but it's a woodwind instrument that's also a synthesizer, right? That
Oh,
you can
what?
make the most beautiful music on, but like nobody plays them because like either they don't know about them or it's not, the cool thing to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? I want to I like I own an Omnichord. I don't know why I own one, but I do.
That's
If you
pretty
know what that is.
awesome. Can you explain what
Um
that is?
so an Omnichord is like this old 80s instrument. I think Suzuki made the original ones. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I think they actually made the one that I have too. It's like an electric harp, sort of. So you have buttons that play like actual chords on this really awful sounding speaker that comes out of it, but you can run it to an amp. And then it's got like an electric ribbon that you can like play chimes or like strum and do fun stuff with. Think the music for the show Adventure Time. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of it can be done on an Omnichord, and some of it was done on an Omnichord. So to give you an idea of what one would sound like.
Never play a theremin before?
Is that the hand thing?
Yeah, that's the hand thing. I
Those are
also,
cool.
yeah, I just want to. They actually have a VR like app for theremin. It's like $1 or something. That's pretty cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, I always thought that was pretty cool. But yeah,
What?
yeah, what? What are you gonna say?
No, no, no. I was gonna say, what kind of music would you create on a theremin, though?
I don't. It's very specific. I think like very kind of not old timey, but kind of like something I feel like would be out of like a film from like the 30s or something. Like it's
Or
just
like
very
maybe like some '70s like stoner
yeah, or something
trippy
like
stuff,
that. Yeah, it is
like
really
some
neat though.
like the Doors or something you might hear on one of their
Yeah,
albums, kind of thing.
yeah.
Hmm.
Um, do you do anything besides you are a parent, which let's be honest, that's a big responsibility, and I think you've told me that when you become a parent, you do have to make certain sacrifices, or at least you need to.
You do, but you
Yeah,
do so happily. A lot of
right.
people think about the idea of being a parent as like, oh, you're giving up everything and like all my dreams out the window. No,
People say that though, which is
yeah,
why I mean, like,
they
people,
do,
but it
and
seems like an excuse, right? Like,
it
I don't
is
know.
and it isn't.
Yeah,
Being a parent's not for everyone. Not everyone should have kids. Not everyone needs to have kids. You're right. Um, it wasn't originally part of my life plan, but it happened,
yeah,
and I had to grow up really fast, because of it. I was still kind of a dumb kid, when I became a parent. But your priorities change without you having to even think about it, right? This tiny little potato wrapped in blankets becomes the most single important thing in your entire life.
yeah,
And so you're not giving up dreams, or at least not in the way you'd think. You just stop caring about them, right? Because your
yeah.
priorities have now shifted to something that's far more important and far more rewarding in a lot of cases.
Right.
Um, you know, no amount of like fame or money or anything could replace like this tiny human that you now are like in charge of taking care of and making sure that like when they get bigger that they can say they had a good childhood and that they do love you as a parent because look, you don't get to choose your parents, you get to choose your friends. So if you are a parent, if anyone who does become a parent later on in life, remember that, right? It's your job to like not only raise this tiny human, but like inject the good parts of yourself into them. So that way, when they grow up, they can kind of in turn do the same for the next tiny human that they may take care of.
Yeah.
Um, my parents did that with me, my father specifically. He supported me in every single thing I wanted to do, never questioned it. He was like, "You want to do this? We'll figure out a way for you to like go try a thing." Um, and he taught me a lot of life lessons, and he was still teaching me life lessons, whenever he passed away. Um, so, and I just want to be like, if I can be half the parent he was to my little, being, then I've accomplished something far more than I could, you know, streaming or anything else, like as far as like importance to me goes.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
if you
Aw.
want to have kids, don't worry. It's amazing. You'll have fun. Just make sure you can take care of them financially before you do. That's my only advice. Be
Yeah.
financially stable, then have kids.
It's hard. I
It's
mean,
easier.
doesn't usually work out that way, but
No. Well, when I say I don't mean like have a big house and all this money in the back, right?
yeah.
But just like be in a comfortable job space, like where
Yeah.
you're not like job hopping. Like find some kind of like comfortable like area in your life you're in, and then think about it.
Yeah.
Don't be like me and on the job hunt and then find out, oh, you've got a kid on the way and you've got to find a job now.
Yeah. I
And then
feel like
like your
that's
whole
just
life.
that's just how it goes sometimes though. Like you don't plan for it. It's sort of unexpected and
Oh yeah.
um
And but you
yeah.
love them. You
Yeah.
do. Unconsciously you do. You don't realize how much you do until they're there in front of you.
Yeah.
So,
I think one of the most interesting things is you told me this is that she's your daughter's kind of inspired you in how you stream and how you kind of act on
very much so.
stream. Yeah.
Cuz one day, like I think I'd spoken to you whenever I first got in the world, right? She's very much a creature of the internet, right? So one
Yeah.
day she she may come across my stream, right? Because like that's put out there publicly, and obviously other things, right? Or even if it's not somewhere far in the future, if she gets a wild hair and decides that she wants to type in my username and watch one of my live streams, right? What is she gonna see when she
Mhm.
clicks on, right? She's old enough now that she knows like adults are different than kids her age, so like the humor may be different and stuff. She understands that to some degree. But at the same time, like would I feel comfortable with her seeing what's on my stream, right? And
Yeah.
so I keep that's always kind of in the back of my head a little bit. And two, she's in the other room right now, right? So like
Oh.
what I say can still be heard.
Yeah.
A lot of times she's usually asleep when my stream starts, but if she wakes up and were to walk into the living room, like what I'm saying has just as much of an impact of me putting it out there on the internet as does this tiny person right here in the room next to me.
Yeah.
So I think about that, and so you temper yourself unconsciously sometimes to account for that. You
Yeah.
know,
Do you this is a random question, but do you like
go for it.
I'm kind of curious because I think this is a topic that people kind of bring up with like VRchat and stuff. Like has she tried VRchat before or
Under extreme supervision in a
yeah.
private world that I had completely set up. It was
Yeah.
actually for Valentine's Day. Her
No.
mother had gone off on like a trip somewhere, whatever was going on, and it was just me and her. And so, like, part of what I wanted to do is I wanted her to have the best Valentine's Day she could remember.
Oh.
And she's an avid Pokemon enthusiast.
Oh.
And what better way to like enjoy than like getting to pet one in VR, right?
Yeah.
Her favorite Pokemon being Eevee, which
Oh,
luckily
okay.
enough is very common, as a favorite for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I put her in full body,
Mhm.
like got her set up on the trackers, index the full Monty, and like I pre-set up the world that she could just run around in and just like play with Eevees and pet them and just have an absolute blast. That's
Mhm.
been her one experience, and she nags me every day. Hey, when can we get back in VR? Are we gonna do that again today? Are we gonna do this?
Every day she nags you.
Almost every day, she's like, when are we getting back in VR?
And what do you
And
say?
I'm like, there will be a time, but I have to be my because small brains are still like growing and learning, and I don't
Yeah.
know how this would affect her, and two, I don't want her to get too hooked on it this early in life,
Yeah.
because there's so much for her to do outside of VR,
Yeah.
like that I want her to experience for herself before
Right.
she makes the decision of whether or not she wants to be a VR enthusiast or, something else. But I still have a Quest 2, and I think one of my next goals is to figure out a way to get both she and I in VR in the same world together to like run around, because I
Oh,
think that would be
yeah.
incredibly cool.
You could do
Just
that
have
with a
like,
Quest 2, right?
yeah, you can, but like I've got to get a Quest compatible version of the avatar and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Well,
But I just want to have like that experience of like running around with her in VR, as opposed to like watching the screen as she
yeah.
does things.
Right. That would be so nice. I mean, like, you could just be in whatever avatar. I mean, you would probably have a diminished experience if you let her use the PC version, but I mean, I-
That's yeah,
yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I I was on Quest for my first 1,000 hours of VR,
Oh, wow.
PC
Okay.
Quest, but
Yeah.
still within the limitations of it, and
Mhm.
still fun. It's a great headset, so. But it's also a lot cheaper to replace, so that's the one she gets to use.
Yeah.
Because I one of the things I noticed is she's still not quite spatially aware when she's in VR, and so I'd rather her break one of
Oh,
those controllers that I can replace for 75
right.
bucks than
Fair. That
an index knuckle.
that I can you just buy I don't think you can just buy one index controller. I think you have to buy both, right?
Yeah, it's like $300 a pair, and I'm just like, that's a
It's
whole Quest headset.
that's true. Yeah, it's quite expensive.
She could trip, fall, and absolutely shatter that thing, and I would just be like, okay, well, it's not a huge loss.
Yeah.
And I think it's still under warranty too, so like, more power to you.
Does she have like a Switch or something or like a
She
3DS or
does.
okay.
She has a Switch, and that is her only gaming console,
Yeah. It's a good
and she
one though.
plays.
For
Um,
Pokemon especially.
yes, Let's Go Eevee is her favorite game of all time.
Oh. Oh.
Um, and she plays Animal Crossing. Those are her
Oh. That's so
two that she
wholesome.
loves.
Yeah.
But
That's sweet.
and Mario Kart on occasion. But those are her jam, as it were.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you something else, which is like just as a parent, I think it's so interesting, and I've talked about this with my friends. I don't have kids myself, but how do you think about like limiting like your daughter's time on the internet in general? Like, do you like check her browser all the time? Like,
So
do you have like a software or something, or do you just go, like give her free reign or
it's kind of yes or no. So like her internet browsing. Sorry, I'm gonna readjust a little bit here.
yeah.
Her internet browsing takes place on a phone or tablet. Like luckily, Apple products, everything's interconnected. That works off of my account. So
Mhm.
I don't have to physically go into what she's doing to know what she's looking at on YouTube or what she's searching in Google. Um, you know, and obviously you're going to see the weird kid stuff like Pokemon farts. Like that has actually been a thing. I was like, "What are you looking this up for?" She's like, "Cuz it's funny." Like, why,
Yeah, but that's like that's like fine, right? Like that's not.
Yeah. No, I don't worry about it. But I do watch what she's watching,
Yeah.
and I make a point to kind of push her in a direction that I think is a lot safer,
Yeah.
whether that be YouTube content or otherwise. Because if you don't watch your kids, they're gonna do whatever they want to do, and they're kids, they're growing. They need some kind of. It doesn't have to be like, crack a whip strict, right?
Yeah.
But like you have to guide them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the train's going to go off the tracks somewhere, which is what we see in public lobbies with kids in Quest headsets that got them for Christmas, and the parents are just like, "All right, chuck it on, Johnny," and away you go in the other
No
room.
guidance. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're out here running around and like doing incredibly like racist things and then like saying terrible things to people that to them they think's funny, but like nobody's told them otherwise. Like, or they don't have to think about someone over the shoulder going, "Hey, you get in trouble doing this kind of stuff."
Right.
Um, and sometimes that serves to only warp their perception of what is okay as they get older in life.
Yeah.
Because without any kind of
True.
guidance, and your parents do kind of dictate to you as a child what is wrong and what is right. on some level. Like, it's inherent to some degree, but you still need someone there to go, okay, well, like, this is bad thing, this is not bad thing, right? If you don't know any better, you're going to do bad thing. If nobody tells you it's bad thing, you're just going to keep doing it,
Right.
right? And that can be incredibly detrimental as you get older because you never were like, I'm not going to say taught correctly, but you were never guided in a direction that's maybe positive, you know, as far as like your interactions with other members of society, right? I mean, my dad would beat the crap out of me for being,
Hmm.
the kid I was, but I deserved it sometimes, you
Yeah.
know. You can only light a lady's hair on fire at her wedding once,
Did you
you
do
know,
that? What?
by accident.
What a
By
thing to
accident.
just drop offhandedly. You lit a woman's hair on fire at a wedding
I
on
knocked over the
accident?
unity candle. I knocked over the unity
Wait, what is
candle,
the
and this was
unity candle?
so like when people get married. I don't really know much about the whole marriage process because I've never been married or anything. But
Oh.
like, it's this thing that the two couples like light or some such apparently, like
Mm-hmm.
to bring their flame into one, or whatever the religion thing is. And I, being like 5-year old me,
Oh, you're
was
5. Okay.
I was 5, and I knocked over this unity candle, and it's the 90s, so hairspray's a thing.
Oh
And
no.
yeah, so I was like, oh well, that's a memory that I never have
Oh,
lived down.
pump shake. Oh man. Were you freaking out?
No, I was 5. I was just like, woo, running. I didn't even realize
Yeah.
anything happened. My mom like
Yeah.
grabs me by my shirt collar and is like, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh.
I was not like I was a terrible child.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I did some. I don't think I ever did that, but
It wasn't on purpose.
you
It was
just
by
don't know. You just
accident.
don't know any better when you're a kid until someone tells you, "Hey, don't do
Yeah.
this," right? And I think that's such an important thing to have. You're right. It's such an important thing to have in your life is to have someone be like, "Don't do this. Don't do
Yeah.
what you just did."
Like, don't say that thing that is, like, back to, VR. Don't call people this kind of stuff, or don't do this kind of stuff. Like, this is not a good thing to do,
Yeah.
and if nobody stops them, like, as someone they respect, right? Because you and I could go up and be like, hey, look, this ain't, kosher or whatever. They don't care.
Yeah.
But if a
Who's not?
parent comes up to you, it's your parent. Like, you have an inherent respect for them. They,
Right.
hey, look, you keep doing this, you're never getting VR again. And they go, well, okay. And then maybe it stops. And
Yeah.
because that, maybe they have those good, wholesome interactions that the rest of us get to experience because we don't, run up and start playing like, whatever random rap song we can fit onto the microphone at full volume.
Yeah.
Just, it helps to like calm down, slow down, dial everything back, and just wade into the water slowly.
Is there like a certain age you think like you're gonna let your daughter get into VR, or just like kind of just you'll play it by ear and see like if she's
I'm gonna
mature
play it
enough?
by ear
Yeah.
for now,
Yeah.
because so one thing about my daughter is she spectrum. So she's high functioning, which means she's totally normal, right? A lot of people like have the misnomer like, this, she just doesn't respond to social cues
Hmm.
super. She takes everything way too seriously. Like, if you make a joke,
Yeah.
be ready for her to think you weren't joking.
Yeah.
So you
Right.
kind of have to watch what you do a little bit around her, but it also means that she's very whimsical.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even at her age, unicorns and mermaids are still like
Aw.
S tier awesome, and I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
this is cool. My little baby is my little baby for a little bit longer,
Aw.
right?
Yeah.
Um, but I also know what can happen if I let her spend too much time into it. It becomes an addiction because VR is way cooler in real life. Let's be real. Like,
Agreed. Yeah, it's
yeah,
pretty
it's
cool.
way cooler, and I don't want her perception of reality to be spoiled by what she's able to experience in VR. You know,
Yeah.
dropping little bits here and there to like let her get the experience and like get the enjoyment of it, right? or have something that she would not have otherwise, I think that's okay. But like letting her like just unleashing her upon the land of VRchat, I don't think is something that I'm ever gonna quite let her do on her
Yeah.
own.
Yeah.
Maybe when she's in her later teens, and she's
Right.
a bit more like cognizant of like what she's doing and what's going on, and specifically other people,
Yeah.
then maybe. But at that point, once you get to a certain age, what your parents say has zero bearing on what you do.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and who knows where VR is going to be 8-10 years from now.
Yeah.
So
I hope VRchat's still a thing, but yeah, it's true. Who knows what it's gonna be?
I think it will be in some form or fashion, because
I think
we've
so
seen
too. I mean, how long has Facebook been around? Like 20
for a
years
long
now?
time.
15
Yeah.
years now?
Yeah, I
Something like
mean,
that.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr went the way of,
I
gone,
mean,
but that was
I wasn't on Tumblr. But my friends
I
were.
it was a cool blog space for a long time, and then it turned into something that it was never meant to be, and it
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it died because of it.
Yeah.
Um because I think you told me you had a blog at one point in your life.
I did. I had a
Um
blog for a long time on a blogspot, which is I think owned by Google or like blogger.com. And I had like a live journal too and I don't know if you remember Zanga.
I
Zanga.
do remember saying I'm
Which is like
we're
a
old. No,
yeah, we are old. You know, people I'll ask people like if they know what live journal is, and most people do not know what live journal is. Which
true.
is yeah.
I think that stuff's cool though. That's what I grew up like getting into on the internet though. Outside of like the typical like Newgrounds Flash game stuff, was like
Yeah.
we were at an age where the internet was still just new enough that like
Yeah.
finding that stuff was easy, and it wasn't hidden in a sea of just like unnecessary crap. You
Right.
know.
Sorry, I'm laughing because my friend Vivi on Thursday, we somebody in her community like brought up like I'm sorry for like Tub Girl and stuff and like
Oh God.
like rotten.com stuff. Like we had to deal with some horrifying stuff too.
True, and nobody knew. Like, and you could get to that stuff on school computers, and
Yeah,
that was the worst
I
part. Like, you
know.
just be in
I
like computer
know.
class, like, yo, you. And I'm not even gonna say some of the stuff we used to look up. But just yo, check this out, and your friend would lean over, like, bro.
Yo, check this out. It's like Top Girl. You're like, oh, bro, what
Uh,
the?
Meanwhile, your computer teacher's just typing away. Hope you guys are doing your keystrokes over there, and we're just like,
No.
awful things,
Yeah.
awful things.
Um. Yeah. Um. So let's go back to VR and thank you so much for being here. Once again, my guest today, everyone, is my lovely friend Kanashi Noir. If we could get a shout out for Kanashi, Kanashi_Noir. One thing I wanted to ask you, actually, I don't know if I've ever asked you this, but where did you get your name, Kanashi Noir? How did
So
you get your name?
I've never been one to like follow super hardcore rant like naming conventions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the name Kanashi, which or Kanashi, which is means sad in Japanese, funnily
Oh, I
enough,
didn't know that.
right?
Okay.
That one was part of another username that is also used. I didn't know at the time, by an artist who draws like not safe for work artwork in the furry community. And once I realized, I was like, oh, I can't do this. So I was like, I need to like find something else that I enjoy, to like that also isn't gonna be lame. And
Mm-hmm.
I happen to like old foreign films. This goes back to my aunt, who used to like introduce me to that stuff, or like just like noir films, which
Yeah.
are even still made today technically, if you look at like movies like Sin City and stuff. And I was like, well, that's cool, and I think I vibe with this, and it works, and I mush the two together, and that's where it came from.
Cool.
It wasn't
Yeah.
like anything like life altering per se, but like
Mm-hmm.
I went from Sad Panda to, you know, now it's just an amalgamation. Most people don't even call me by my username anymore. It's just Kana mostly.
I mean, that's part. It's
Which,
like your short version. Yeah.
yeah, which I prefer. I
Yeah, I
think
think
it's more
Kana too.
comfy.
Yeah. Um. this is a random question and one that you don't have to answer if you don't feel super
Okay.
comfortable. And this is just something I've been asking people, and I kind of have steered away from it, but I think this is something that I find really interesting, which is, have you, I know the answer to this, I think, but have you fallen in love in VR, developed like an intimate relationship with someone before?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Do I know them?
honestly, yeah, of course you do.
I'm just kidding.
Well,
Sorry.
duh. Wow. Wow. No,
I'm sorry.
just
I love you,
wow.
Tasty. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Wow.
No.
Wow. I love Tasty so much. She's
No, they're
amazing. I'm really
absolutely
looking forward to hopefully meeting you guys at
the best part
TwitchCon.
is it happened by accident.
Yeah. How did it
Completely.
happen?
Neither one of us were looking for anything, and we ended up through stream, right? Becoming like really good friends, and then it just like kept snowballing and just rolled into like what it is today, and it's this beautiful thing, that
Oh.
has ups and downs. We still struggle. We're people,
Yeah.
but it's real. It's as real as it can be, you know.
Yeah.
Outside of like being physically there, it's as real as you're gonna get, and that's another beauty of VR, right? Is you don't have to live within 5 minutes of said other person, right? You can
Right.
be on the opposite ends of the world
Yeah.
and still spend what I think is like the same kind of quality time.
Right. Exactly.
So like it's naturally been for people who do long distance relationships, it's the greatest thing in the world,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Because it used to be a phone call and an email or a letter or whatever. Now you can physically be there
Yeah.
and talk to them and experience things together that you wouldn't otherwise.
Yeah. And you can go on adventures. You can go on really interesting dates and adventures together and have really fun nights and hang out with people from all
You
over the
can.
world. And yeah.
You can take a ride on a train through space and have a picnic if you want, you know?
Yeah.
Or like explore, underwater, just anything. And or you can do this right here, right? And just sit down, watch a movie together, and just enjoy an evening doing absolutely nothing, you know?
Yeah.
So it's
I think what that one specifically you said is quality time. And I don't know if you've heard of like the concept of love languages, but I think it's like words of affirmation. I think like words of affirmation, like gestures of kindness, quality time is a big one. Physical touch is one of them, and I think gift giving is the fifth one. But you can do like 3 or 4 of those in VR. Physical touch is the one thing that you can't. But I guess what I'm
one
saying
day.
is one day, quality time is so important for any relationship and friendship. It doesn't have to be a sexual thing or a dating thing, but
It
when you
just be like you, them, and like your friends.
yeah.
Just it's the fact that you're together, right?
Yeah,
I
right.
think is what means the most. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm
No,
sorry.
no, no, no. I want you to. You're my guest. Yeah,
But
it's just that spending time together and just getting to know each other and getting to know each other while you guys are not doing anything, just sort of just laying there or just being comfy. I think is such a
hmm
underrated part of being in a relationship is feeling safe when you're not necessarily being active, when you're just idling together. I think is something
yeah,
really
like
comfy.
sometimes the best thing in the world is to just exist for a little while.
Yeah.
Like not do anything, say, be any, just literally existing and just swimming in your own thoughts, but like having that security blanket of the other person. I think because sometimes swimming in your own thoughts can be incredibly detrimental to like
Oh
your mental
yeah.
health.
Yeah.
When you have someone there that if something does come up or bubbles to the surface that you can like maybe openly discuss with in a comfortable setting, it helps sometimes work through some really tough patches that you might not have been able to without them there. And I think that's an important part of any relationship is not only accepting each other for their flaw, for your flaws, but sometimes, you know, that other person may come to you for working on something that they want to improve, whether it be a flaw or vice versa. You may do the same to them. and they are that outside looking into you, and they know you a lot of times better than anyone else, and so sometimes they can give you the best advice, for like anything, whether it be something involving your relationship, like whether it's something, a change that they want to see in you that would help improve like how things are between the two of you, or a change in your day-to-day life,
Yeah.
you know. Because I'll be honest, I'm terrible at communicating. I've
Yeah.
struggled with it my entire life, and I still do.
Mm-hmm.
And I struggle, and it's one of the things that I'm working on with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're a big driving force in like getting me to communicate. And I'm getting better. I'm not perfect, but you know, I have a reason to want to be better. So that's the other thing too. Is I have a reason to want to be better at it, and it's for them.
Oh, you hear that, Tasty? Oh, that's really sweet. Um, and I guess another question is, and I've been asking people this, and once again, if you're not comfy answering this, it's fine. Do you think your gender identity, or let me preface it by saying my gender identity and sexual identity, I think was always kind of floating around in the background in my mind, and
Hmm.
I think VR kind of let me see what it might be like, and it kind of made me feel comfortable like exploring that side of myself. Do you think VR has helped you discover something about yourself, I guess gender wise, gender identity wise, or sexuality wise that wasn't there before, or no?
Yes, actually, I do. And it. Speaking of the Berg, I think you had mentioned a quote for them, right?
That was your
Previously.
cat. That was your cat. I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry, she's so angry. I apologize. She gets attention. I
Does
don't
she
know
want
what's wrong.
affection? Oh.
No, because she won't come here if I call to her. She's just like, I want to be angry to be angry. I'm like, oh, okay, be angry then. Um, but yeah, like, so it allows you to essentially be your inner self, but on the outside, right?
Yeah, right.
Because in VR, yes, there's
Anonymity, I think. Anonymity.
anonymity to it.
Anon.
I
Yeah.
think that's the word.
I don't know.
So,
I was an English major to it. I don't know words. Words are hard.
words, yeah, words hard. English language very hard. Um, but it allows you to like be your inner self, right? Without the worry of judgment, or at least harsh judgment from those around you. Because if someone judges you on the internet, even in VR, like, oh, okay, whoever that was, you can easily remove yourself from the situation as opposed to like dealing with those judgments IRL, right? As well as, you know, the people you're also interacting with are doing the same thing. Their their inner truth
Right.
is just shining forth, whether it be through their avatar, their actions, who they want to be, who they're trying to be, you know, you get to see that and you get to do that yourself. And so it's incredibly helpful for people who have things like dysphoria or other disabilities or that struggle with certain things. It's an easy way to overcome those because you
Mm-hmm.
can do it somewhat risk free,
Yeah.
and not risk those harsh judgments that I think we're all afraid of.
Right. Yeah. Very, very eloquently put. It's scary to explore that side of yourself IRL, and you might not have the people to do that with. And I think something you said that was really poignant was and true is that you're doing it in a space where everyone is, or at least if you surround yourself with people who are, all your friends are doing that sort of thing. So it's a very comfortable, natural space to explore your identity, and it's really nice. Um, I love Tasty so much. She's such a
Me
good bee.
too.
She's so great. She's so great. Um, do you find yourself, and I think you kind of alluded to this, but do you find yourself feeling closer to the people in VR than in your real life?
So much so it's scary.
Yeah, yeah,
I think because the people I've met in VR are genuinely, this is going to sound awful, but better human beings than the ones that I surrounded myself with in real life a lot of times.
yeah.
Now, granted, there are a couple that I know in VR that I know IRL and we're amazing friends there too, but like,
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in the American South, so you can imagine what that's like, being surrounded by that type of person, like that's very, I won't say the words redneck because that's not a true like descriptor, right? But like very closed off to like what we would consider like the norm or even like standard open ways of thinking, whether it be for gender, sexuality, just anything in general.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's in my area is very forced to like not think that way, or if that is the thing, that's weird and it's bad. And so you see a lot of people get very harsh ridicule. Now you want to come over here. I see how it is, Kat. Sorry.
No,
She's like right there.
understandable. For anyone who's had a
Um,
cat, it's very, very relatable.
so it's incredibly scary to think about like if you were to be yourself in front of these people, how would they react?
Yeah,
And to the ones who don't know that you interact with and they say some incredibly hurtful things,
yeah,
and you're just like, because they don't know you're sitting there, they might not if they knew you were, but at the same time it's like that's clearly how they feel, because if they're willing to do it when they don't know, obviously that's more true than if they were trying to censor themselves for your sake. um, and I've found that the people I've run into in VR, like yourself, are incredibly open minded, and like there's just a level of kindness there because I think we're all in some way kind of going through something similar.
yeah,
And so there's a connection that we all sort of have, um, that we're able to just like on some level connect and just know that kindness that we show each other like helps more than anything. And you run into like-minded people. Life is can be an echo chamber, and that's not always a bad thing.
yeah,
Sometimes if the echo chamber is one of positivity, then you're doing something right, you know.
yeah. Or at least you're in a good place, I think. And I think this is the
Yeah.
first time I've ever been. Well, I had like an acting group that I was in before VR that was kind of positive, but not nearly as much as positive as like the echo chamber inside of, I guess, this community that we're a part of.
Well, and it's one of like kindness and acceptance and like it, the push to be who you want to be and be who you are and like know
Yeah,
that somebody will love you for who you are, right? And you don't have to be afraid to be that way. That's a
yeah,
good thing as opposed to one that's like just of anger and like, you know, this is weird because I don't understand it and I don't accept it for what it is. Like you don't have that here. Or at least I haven't
yeah,
experienced it with people like you and other friends like Girza and Kara and of course Tasty and Kitty. Like they're all everyone's different, but I think we're all moving towards the same goal, and that's just like live happy lives and accept people for who they are.
yeah.
You know, not based off like what we want them to be, kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. That's a yeah, great little that's what you just taught us. Yeah. Love people for who they are, not who you want them to be.
Yeah,
Um
I think life's easier whenever you become when you accept that everyone's different, right?
yeah.
And you may not jive with everyone.
Yeah.
You're not going to get along with everyone, but
Yeah.
take those friendships as they come and cherish them, you know, as much as you can.
Definitely. Yeah, and I think it's very important to remind yourself that. I know as an adult you can sort of get trapped into like just maybe working too much or feeling like you need to be quote unquote productive or whatever, and kind of forgetting that it's important to take some time during your week or during your day or whatever, whenever you can, just to spend time with people who care about you and have your best interests in mind. And if only to, I think you alluded to this before, but just if only to get out of your own head, because that can be
Hmm.
pretty
And
disruptive. Yeah.
VR is like the best way to do that if you think about it. You don't have to drive down to the pub. You don't have to leave
Yeah.
your house to spend time with your friends.
Yeah. It's
You
true.
take 5 minutes, put on a headset, and you're there.
Yeah.
And you're
So
able to just
nice.
have fun or just chill. And it's such a good thing for like the average working adult's mental health. I think VR should
Mhm.
almost be a requirement past a certain age. Like
Yeah.
after 25, if you're a salary worker, get a VR headset, get in VRchat,
Yeah.
make some friends. I promise.
It's
it gets
so
better.
true. It should be, because it is impossible to make friends as like a salary worker or just working any job, really. I mean, you have your coworkers, and like, yeah, I was on good terms with my coworkers, but like, I didn't want to hang out with them all the
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
Like,
Like you want that separation between your work life and
that too.
your home life. And that's another
Yeah.
thing you get with VR is, look, you're probably not going to work with any of your friends in VR most of the time, because they're going to be in another time zone somewhere far off most of the time. And so you have another level of separation from like your day-to-day job, because your experiences are going to be vastly different. So, you're not going to run into your best friend who also works 3 registers down at the local Kroger. Like,
Yeah.
more than likely not going to have that. They're going to do a completely different type of work, and you guys can talk about your day, and you don't have to feel like you're just going back into the same thing every day.
Yeah. Um.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry,
No,
I
no, no.
keep
No,
blabbering.
no, no. You're not. You're no, no, no. I love how much you're talking. I love how much you're talking. I just happened to look at chat for a second, and Ludi said, "You guys have coworkers," and I do have coworkers. Now I'm lucky enough to work from home, and no, I love you. I've been enjoying talking with you so much. I genuinely mean that. I like I told you, I've been looking forward to just talking with you and getting to know you better for ages now,
I feel like
for a while
you're
now.
you're one of the people that know me better than almost anyone, except for like very select few. Bergie being one of those people. You know me incredibly well, I think.
Yeah, and I'm happy that we've become like closer friends. Honestly, I mean,
N-
uh,
I still, it's mind blowing to think I was like so nervous, so anxious. Like the first time I met you, I was
I
like,
remember actually, which is so cute.
I was just like this
Um,
quiet little bean that would just like sit at the end, like, hi, like, and I still
oh,
am. I still look up to you, like in a genuine way, like, because
you're so
you
sweet.
make content that I aspire to like, emulate in some way. I don't want to make the exact same thing, obviously, but like, I can look to you and be like, well, you're making it work
Oh,
and you're doing it in a wholesome way, and you're getting genuine friendships, and you're doing something that I think is amazing. And I look at
thank
that and I'm
you.
like, I want to be like that one day. I want to get to the point where I'm comfortable with myself as a person to be able to be like that. And I'm working towards it slowly, but you're a role model, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Oh,
And you're someone that I will
so
say, and this isn't
hard.
me just blowing smoke, but you're a perfect role model to look at because of how you go about doing things. And you're an easy person to watch and sit down and just like turn everything off and just absorb yourself into what you're doing. Whether it be like talking to chat or how you balance your friends in world and that kind of stuff. There's so much that can be learned just by like watching how you carry yourself, and I enjoy that.
I mean, I could
Like,
say the same thing about you. I mean, thank you. You're so sweet, and I don't even know what to say. But you're so
I'm
sweet.
sorry, I'm just
No,
being
don't
honest.
be
I'm speaking
sorry. Don't be
honestly.
sorry. I love you, and I that just means a lot to me. Because I'm over here being like, I suck. I'm bald. I'm bald
But
shit.
that's because you're
And
you,
I
and everybody's
can't.
self-deprecating on some level.
Yeah.
It's human, you
Um.
know. But I get to watch from an outside point of view, so I can make these observations. I'm making probably the same observation that literally everyone in your chat probably does too. At the end of the day,
Oh,
that's why we all love watching you. You
sure.
know,
Sorry.
you're
I
fine.
I get that feeling when I watch you though. When I watch your stream, you like give off such a genuinely comforting vibe and a very soft-spoken and loving and like nurturing vibe to your community, and you take your time and you respond to every single person. And
I
then
try. It doesn't always work, but
I mean, yeah, it doesn't always work, but I mean, I think you're doing an amazing job as well. And speaking of something that's new that you're doing and content that you're creating, you just started a podcast of your own, the JK Unless.
unless Yeah.
podcast. How did that come about? How'd you get the name and who's involved?
So I had been wanting to do a podcast like since I first got in. Actually, there's someone watching that originally I wanted to do it with, but like life got in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's always been something kind of always thought was cool, right? Like just sitting down, talk, and it's fun content to make, right? Because you're not worried about like necessarily being entertaining so much as just like depending on what you're talking about, just like learning as much as you can. And I think that's the best part is like learning something.
Yeah.
Um, and so my friend Jess Comfy, we were talking about it, and they're like, "Yo, you want to do a podcast too?" I was like, "Yes, this sounds awesome! Like, let's do it." And they came up with the name. They're like, what do we call this?" And I'm like, I don't know." And they're like, "JK Unless," and I'm like, oh, "That's perfect." And
Cool.
from there, we kind of decided like, well, how do we want to set up the format, which is just like sort of similar to kind of how you go about things, except we're just like to any guest, we're like pick something you love that you're passionate about. Just pick that one thing, and we're going to talk about that thing. We're just going to learn, like Jess and I are going to learn what we can about it beforehand, if we can, or we're not, and we're going to let you just like go on a rant, and we're going to add input where we can, and just have fun talking and in as comfortable an environment as possible, just like friends. So,
Yeah. I really love it. I mean, I watched the episode with you and Tasty. I didn't watch the second week, but I want to. You didn't do it. Did you do one this last week? I feel like Jess has kind
we
of been on
have,
a break or something.
she has, she's been dealing with some stuff, and,
Yeah.
part of that is like when you have two people hosting, it's making sure everybody involved is in the right headspace
Of
and like
course.
able to do it.
Yeah.
But the next guest or was going to be Traxie,
Oh,
we're all excited for. I know I am because they're a ball of fire. She really
I love
is.
Traxie. Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be a fun one. But yeah, we had to cancel last week. So
It's
here's
okay.
to
It
looking
happens.
forward.
And I hope she feels better and gets through what she's going through.
Yeah, and
Life
that's one of the
is.
things I need to do after this is go like sit down and talk with her and make sure everything's
Yeah.
okay.
You're such a good friend. You really are. You're such a sweet
I
friend.
wish I was. No,
You
I could
are.
be a
What do you
better friend.
mean? I mean, we all could be, but you try your best. You know, you can only do your best to be there for people. And what the?
Well,
I
I
bum.
blame myself sometimes for last week. It was last minute. I was like, "Hey, we're still on, right?" Because like, we were kind of debating on it. She's like, and I'm like, "Well, time shift," and she's like, And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
"Okay, we can reschedule."
Yeah. I mean, you didn't do anything wrong. I think what you're getting at. Communication just takes time, and sometimes there is miscommunication, and sometimes people are going through stuff. But I think one of the best qualities about you is that you're patient and understanding. And if someone were to cancel last minute, you would understand. Like you wouldn't get upset with them.
It
And
happens. It's
yeah,
life.
that's life. Yeah. Do you have any plans for like other content creation moving forward, or
Mm.
just the
There's so
podcast for
many things
now?
I want to do and
Yeah.
so little time.
Like what?
I want to do more TikTok stuff because I
Mhm.
think it's super cool. Like, I think it's just fun. I'd like to do more long form video editing.
Mhm.
Like shooting and editing videos, I think is fun. Don't ask me to write a script. I will not be able to do it. I'm just going to be honest. Um, but like getting cool, interesting shots and just making things look pretty, and having fun with it in that respect is stuff I want to do more of.
Would you ever do any acting? Would you ever be in a film or something?
I would absolutely love to. I think that's also fun, is like being part of something bigger. I think is really enjoyable sometimes.
Yeah.
Like playing a role or being part of something that is being made by someone who has like a much bigger picture. I enjoy the heck out of that because at the end of the day, you get to sit back and see like their vision and how you fit into it, and I think that's so cool sometimes.
Yeah. Interesting. um I ask selfishly because I'm I've been watching a lot of kind of old movies, or yeah, I mean newer
Yeah,
movies too, and I've just been so inspired to write
I
stuff
think
for
it's
my
great.
friends, and like I would love to work on something with you, whether it's having you in something or maybe working
Yeah,
on cinematography together, editing together. And
you you only have to ask, and I'm gonna be like, let's go.
and I just
I'll never say no.
I love that about like this community that we're a part of, is that like for the first time in my life, like I have people who I will be like, hey, let's work on a movie or something. The other people like, yeah, hell yeah, let's do it. Whereas like before, if you're like, I don't know.
I have thing to do Saturday.
I think they do. And even people who were interested, it's just so hard to collaborate in real life because you all got to like drive an hour or 2 hours to be at this place, at this time, and it's just so hard.
And two, like you don't have to control the weather. Well, you can
Oh,
control the weather
right,
in
yeah,
VR.
yeah. That's a huge thing too, is that you can control kind of the environment that you're in when you're filming, which is really nice.
I
Um,
just yeah, if you're working on projects, even if it's just coming to watch the magic happen, I think it's
yeah,
super cool. I've worked with some other friends on some smaller stuff, in the past, and I just think it's fun. Like getting direction sometimes is super cool. Like, and just trying to help create that vision for them, or
yeah.
work with them and try and build something. It's super interesting. I'm terrible at it, I'll be honest, but I think it's cool.
I mean, I think we all need to start somewhere. I mean, I am still a beginner and I don't, really know what I'm doing, but I think that's kind of exciting, like to just do whatever and to film whatever. Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Heck yeah.
Um, I guess. Are you okay? Do you need to like take a break or go to the bathroom or anything? We've been talking for a
I'm fine,
little
yeah.
over an hour and a half now, so I think maybe we'll I want to keep talking to you for a little while, but
I mean, it's up to you. Like,
how
I'm
are you
here
feeling?
at your
Yeah,
mercy.
yeah.
So, sorry, I'm just getting a quick sip of
Oh
my
yeah,
drink.
yeah. I should do that too. No, I just wanted to check in, make sure if you need to go to the bathroom or drink some water or something. Usually,
I'm one of the. Hmm?
yeah.
I keep interrupting. I'm so sorry.
No, don't be sorry. You're fine. Is it usually I would take a break now, but I don't. I think I'm good too. So
I'm the type of person that once I kind of get stuck in on something, I'm just like,
yeah.
I'll keep hammering down until it's done, kind of thing.
So I guess some other questions I have for people and that are VR related. And you said you actually, which is kind of interesting, like you have best friends that are in VR. The question is
Oh
like, have you
yeah.
met anyone from VR and IRL, or do you know people IRL
I
that you know in VR? And
technically, one person specifically, my friend Corners,
oh
which we
yeah,
met on Discord first, and then VRchat, and then IRL, because I happen to live pretty close.
mm-hmm.
I've got a couple other friends that live somewhat within my state that I plan to meet. Rob Atuni, I don't know if you've met them or not. They're a very good friend of mine that I definitely plan to meet in the future IRL. Of course, Tasty, that will
Yeah,
happen. Um, and I can call these, and even if I don't get to meet them IRL, right, I still feel comfortable calling these people some of my best friends.
yeah,
Because, like, to me, best friend is someone who you genuinely look forward to like seeing at the end of the day, right?
yeah.
Or hanging
Right.
out.
Yeah,
Like you have it in your mind like I'm going to jump on, or if it were IRL, I'm going to go to place, right? And meet person, and it's going to be awesome because I love this person as a friend. And people like my friend Jen, who've been there since like the very beginning of everything, are like one people I would consider best friends. Or like just even new people I've met along the way, like Twilight and others. And as I get to know more people, that circle grows to some degree. And some people may exit that circle of their own volition while new ones take their place. But it's not an ever revolving door because I don't want friendships to become something like that. I mean,
yeah,
people can come and go, because whether it be through difference of opinion or just time spent. But
yeah.
there's some people I will always consider amazing friends.
Yeah.
And some of the very best because they know me better than a lot of my friends IRL do, honestly,
Same.
as a person. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm comfortable calling it that. Yeah, they're some of my best friends,
Yeah.
and I can thank VR for that.
And I think one of the nicest things about VR is when you actually get to bring those friendships into your real life. Because sometimes I think it can be, like, I don't know, a trap or something to just keep everything in VR.
Hmm.
I think it's important to, like, it doesn't have to be IRL right away. It can just be like a call or watching a movie together or playing a game together or something. But just so it just, because I don't know, these relationships are meaningful. And I think,
Yeah,
yeah.
they do, and I think sometimes it's not feasible to like say meet up, you know,
Right, exactly, yeah.
because like if you have a friend that lives like in Germany or Japan or something, the chances of me getting to meet them IRL are very slim
Yeah.
because just monetary cost involved is just too high.
Hmm.
But again, Jen, they live 3 states below me. Yes, it's a 9-hour drive, but it's well within reason to say like eventually we're gonna go out and grab food together at some point. We'll figure it out. And they've already seen what I look like. So it's like
Hmm.
there's no risk there,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So
Um, Speaking of which, I know I said I wouldn't check the chat, but I just checked my log, and my friend Egregious Philbin tipped $100. Are you still here, Egregious Philbin? I'm sorry, I've been so focused on the chat. Egregious Philbin, I love you. Thank you for the $100 donation. You're incredible. Thank you so much. You didn't have to do that. Thank you. So backstory. I love you so much, Egregious Philbin. I want to call you by your name, but I love you. I love you so much. So Egregious Philbin and I are have been friends since we were 13. We met in a Christian teen chat room, both when we were going to youth group and church and stuff. Neither of us are very religious anymore. Um, I think my screen name was like, it was MXPX Dork, which is a very 13-year-old screen name. They were like, sweetie. Anyway, I've known them for so long, and they actually are doing like their PhD on VR, even though they're kind of new to VR, just on social VR and social interaction. So they've been watching a lot of these podcasts that I've been doing, and I think it's just really interesting to get their perspective on it. And I wait, have you met them yet, Egregious Philbin?
yeah, no, I
Oh,
love
okay.
them. I
Oh,
love
okay.
them. They're
Yeah, you have
amazing.
met them. Yeah, yeah.
They've
Um,
told me stories of like your childhood and theirs, all the crazy stuff you
right.
guys used to do. They're amazing.
They're absolutely amazing, and it makes me so happy. Like that's something too. That's, I guess, kind of not the opposite, but like the flip side of that is bringing people who you know IRL into VR and like
Hmm.
experiencing it with them, and that's something that I like want to do with a lot of people. I mean, they're one of my closest friends, so of course I think they were right at the top of the list of people who I wanted to experience this. And I actually, one year for their birthday, I sent her like an Oculus Go, which was before the Oculus Quest. Even though it's all I could afford to send them. If I could have bought them an Index right away, I would have. But I was like, please get this. And the benefit of that is that you can actually use that for not VRchat, unfortunately, but for another social VR called AltSpace.
Hmm.
And we hung out, and I was like, but I want you to see VRchat. I want you to see full on VR, PC VR, and
Like proper
proper
experience.
proper experience. And they have, and they love it, and it's nice. They have like full body now, which is pretty pog. And
It's so
uh,
crazy the quick descent into VR it is whenever you actually get a taste of what it's really like.
yeah.
I think for a lot of people, like this is cool. It's just novelty, and then they get into it, and it's like,
Yeah.
here I am, $3,000 later, and I'm in full body, and yeah,
$4,000, $5,000, but
yeah,
it's such a good investment. I always think of it like in a couple different terms. Like, one, if you think about how much motion capture costs, or used to cost at least, for like movies and stuff, it was like tens of thousands of dollars, if not more. So like having a consumer level full body motion capture that other people can have and you can interact. Not only do you have it, but you can interact in a space with it with other people. Like that's mind boggling to me.
It's insane. And it's something I talked about with friends in the past is like everything is a trickle down. So the stuff we see in like the movie industry is slowly going to make its way onto the consumer level, like as things improve.
Yeah.
So eventually we might not need these big trackers on our feet to
Yeah.
like be full body tracked properly.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just a matter of time as like stuff progresses, and it's so cool
Yeah.
to think that it used to be hundreds of thousands of dollars to do this
Right.
on a screen.
And also, like, another term that I guess I think of it in like terms of how much it costs to travel, like around the world. It can cost thousands of dollars to go backpacking across Europe or whatever. And I feel like I probably wouldn't enjoy doing that as much as like the time I spend in VR. Like, for one reason is because I think it's so hard to meet people IRL. Like where do you go? You go to the bar, or, like you interact with the creepy guy at the hostel or something, and it's like,
Yeah, that one guy is like, "Hey, you want to share a backpack?"
yeah, so no. And it's just so, because you also like, you don't get to spend that quality time, getting back to that term. You don't get to spend hours and hours and hours with someone and get to know them in a comfortable space where you're both comfortable. You're both probably at a bar, or like at a restaurant or something, or somewhere random. And you might talk for a couple minutes and exchange pleasantries, maybe get their Facebook or something. But it's not the same as spending a little while in VR together. And it's, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's no time in VR spent. It's almost no different than sitting in the same room with the person. At the end of the day,
No,
I,
it's not. It's just as meaningful, I think.
oh yeah. I mean, sure, there's something to be said about going out to eat with your friends, right? And
Yeah, that's
enjoying
one
an
of the things
evening.
that's I'm excited
Yeah.
for TwitchCon, is going to get like Korean barbecue with
Food.
everyone and food with
Wow.
everyone.
I had Korean barbecue tacos the other day, and they
Oh,
were
what?
amazing.
That sounds
Speaking of,
so good. God damn it.
yeah.
That sounds amazing. There is actually a place, that's one thing. I moved to Arkansas, and that's one thing I miss about California, is that kind of fusion, kind of like
Hmm.
Korean tacos and stuff. And I forget where you're from. I mean, don't dox yourself, but like,
No, it's fine. I live in the southeast, and yeah,
okay.
so I like North Carolina for anyone who
Okay,
wants to know.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So you can get stuff like that. Okay.
Oh yeah, like because I mean we have big cities like Charlotte, Asheville, Raleigh, and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Charlotte being as big as it is, you can pretty much get anything there. It is a bit of a drive, but like it's worth it
Mm-hmm.
if you want to get super interesting stuff like Korean barbecue tacos. Like that's a thing, and I never knew it was a thing, and it turned out to be like some of the best tacos ever.
Korean barbecue tacos, for anyone who's not had them, are incredible. They're so good. Did they have them at like did you say it was a restaurant or like a truck or
Yeah,
something? Oh,
it was a
restaurant.
restaurant.
Yeah.
Now, if you ever come to this side of the U.S., I'm gonna take you to a place behind a little open air bar in Asheville called the Deli Llama, and it has
Hmm.
some of the best food from a food truck you will ever experience in your life.
What kind of
And
food is it?
it's it's like a fusion of like Indian food as well as some other stuff, hence the name like the Deli Llama.
Yeah.
Uh, so like you can get Reubens, but it's like made with like lamb and other stuff, not necessarily beef. Um, and part of what makes it cool is it's an open air area behind this bar, and like they've got spots for you to string your hammocks up and stuff, and just like vibe out in this like outdoor space, and just eat and chillax with friends, and I don't know, it's just cool.
Yeah. Oh. That is the one thing that VR can't. I mean, well, you can't go out and get food, but one of the nicer things that I actually prefer doing in VR is like drinking and partying is very, very nice and relaxing. You don't have
Yes.
to. I never really bar hopped because it just was kind of inconvenient, especially where I was from, California, because it's just hard unless you're in a major city to do that. But here you can pop from world to world and have drinks with all your different friends. And if you don't, the biggest thing is if you don't like a place and you're not comfy in a place, you can just leave. You just go. You can leave and
Yeah. You don't have to like pretend like you're saying goodbye. You just like boop, and then you just poofed
yeah,
out of existence. Like if it becomes an uncomfortable situation, of course,
yeah,
you have an out that's easy and safe. And two, if you do drink too much and you pass out, you wake up in your own bed or
yeah. And it's a
couch.
safe place to drink. You don't have to worry about drinking and driving or taking an Uber or doing something that you might regret later.
True.
Now there is the problem of it being, I don't know why, but I feel like it can be easy to drink too much in VR. Like maybe because I don't know, for whatever reason. I feel like when I first started drinking in VR, I'm actually taking a break from drinking now, but like when I first started drinking, I was like, man, it is easy to drink in VR and kind of lose track of like how much you've been drinking.
It is, and I think it's because like we have these wonderful things called joysticks, and we don't have to walk a straight
Oh,
line.
right. Yeah, that's true.
We can sit literally like this right here and just continue to consume and move and do whatever, and like we never notice how fast we're like getting absolutely torn up by
Yeah.
like whatever we're drinking. Um, and then like you go to stand up to use the bathroom, you're like, wait a minute, I've made mistakes. I can no longer quite make it there.
Yeah.
You go to like push your joystick with your VR headset off, you're like, why am I not moving?
Yeah. um, are you excited to meet people at TwitchCon?
I am. I
Yeah.
am. And I just want to make sure I look my best. That's
I
all.
am so motivated to look. I've been like dieting and fasting and exercising. No, I mean really, I just want to get healthy again and like feel my best. For myself and for my community. But yeah, I just want to cuddle people and look my best at TwitchCon.
Yeah, you want to make a good impression with everyone, you know,
Right.
and that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
you know, I'm gonna do absolutely what I need to do to get back into the shape that I want to be in. It's not just for TwitchCon, but like I want to be in good shape.
Right.
You know, so I'm happy with myself as a person, and that's just
Yeah.
a personal thing.
I mean, it's a cliche, but you look good, you feel good, right? Like it is a
Yeah,
thing. It
it's
is a
true.
thing. Looking your best is
100%.
and feeling your best.
Like when you look in the mirror, and listen, that doesn't mean you have to look like, you know, a model. Like
Yeah.
that's you, as long as you can look in the mirror and you go, you know, I'm happy with where I am as a person and how I look. You know, and you're always going to be like, well, I could be a little better here, like, you know, like I need a haircut, whatever.
Yeah.
But as long as you still love yourself on some level, like, yeah, you're doing okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the very cute things is that it's the first time you're going to be meeting your girlfriend, Tasty, right, at TwitchCon.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
No. Did you guys get your tickets yet? Your plane tickets or your Airbnb?
We're still working through all that because, like,
Yeah.
I've got to make. I have the funds set back to do it now. I'm just making sure like everything's set up on their end, and we can
Yeah.
kind of like figure out where we're gonna go and
Yeah.
how it's all gonna work. Because I'm also gonna see if maybe, because I have other friends in my area that are going, like maybe
Oh.
saving money that way and catching a flight with them, kind of thing. You know,
Yeah.
figuring it out. So, but
Cool.
I will make it there. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm going for a week because I guess that's just how the flights are a bit cheaper if you get them on that Wednesday for whatever reason and
Really? So
flying
you're
out on
doing Wednesday
Tuesday.
to Wednesday?
Wednesday to
Or
Tuesday. Wednesday to Tuesday. So we're staying 6 nights. But like to me, like the con's only 3 nights, but I admittedly I am excited to go to the con, but I'm more excited just to hang out with people from VRchat because I've been dying to do that for years and like. I tell this story a lot, but a couple years ago, me and my friends, 30 of us, were about to, we rented a castle, like a literal 11 bedroom castle for Anime Expo, and it just got canceled, and it was like, well, I guess this isn't happening, and it didn't happen 2021, and, you know, like, it's kind of funny because
yeah.
I've been so obsessed with not seeing anyone because of COVID, but like even me at this point, I'm like, I don't care. I just need to
I
meet
miss my
I just
friends.
need to
Yeah.
meet people because I'm just dying
There,
to see people.
there is
Um,
something to be said for in-person human interaction.
there is,
Um,
yeah,
VR, I think, is a nice add-on to that for sure. But like, yeah, you still need real-life interaction. You can't
yeah.
subsist in VR and only VR. Um,
Sadly, yeah,
yeah, if only, right?
yeah,
If full dive was a thing, I might not be saying the same thing, but it's
yeah,
not yet. So, hey, here we
yeah.
are. But I'm excited to see San Diego, right?
Yeah,
Like, I've never been to that side of the country.
I've probably been to San Diego once, and I grew up in Northern California. I was there for like 30 years, and like I went to like Disneyland in LA and stuff, but I never
Hmm.
went to Southern California as an adult. For I guess I didn't really have friends down there to go visit. I never have a reason to drive down there, but yeah, I would love to go to San Diego and just chill out and get food
Yeah,
and like
I just
party
want
for a week.
to meet friends under the pretext of a convention and just goof
Yeah,
off for like a set amount of time.
yeah.
Like, go get food that I can't get here and see people, talk to people, like, just experience something that I'm not probably going to get to experience for, another year at least,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So,
So yeah, once again, thank you, Xavi, for shouting out Kanashi. I love you and I miss you, Xavi. I love you so much. Um, One of my good friends, and I hopefully we can be friends for a long time, Kana. I really love you a lot.
I
Thank you
hope
so
so.
much for being here. We're pretty much at the 2 hour mark, so I was thinking that we could open up chat if anyone has any questions for Kana or me, or we could just chat a little while. Unfortunately, I can't stay super long, as you guys know. I've been working lately, and I can't do my trademark 26-hour streams anymore. At least not for a little while, but I'd love to do one soon again.
I kind of
Um,
miss those, honestly.
I miss them. I really do,
You would
but I
stream while I'm at work, and I could just, like, put your stream on while doing work all day and just vibe. Just
yeah.
enjoy it.
No
It's
more
so
week
fun.
long streams, Sag. Yes, Sag. Sag. I'll tell you this though. I am a lot happier. I mean, not stressing my mind and my body out like that, but also, I'll be honest, like I had to when I moved here. I wasn't in the best. I mean, I was okay financially, but I was still dipping into savings a little bit each month. And now that I'm working and I can kind of support myself and like streaming, the streaming income is nice, but it's not something I have to worry about right now. But when I did have to worry about it, it was really stressful and I did not like it. So I guess what I'm saying is like I'm enjoying streaming a lot more again. It's really nice not having to worry, not having to feel like I need to go like 24 hours and not kind of like I was like obsessed with numbers for a while. Even after I got partner, I was like, "Oh man, I need to keep up this average," and like kind of not thinking about that anymore has been a blessing.
I
It's been
think
really nice.
everybody struggles in some small way with, like, the numbers thing. As much as, like, everyone and their brother and sister will tell you, don't worry about numbers, turn the viewer count off, this and that. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's great advice, but like, if you're trying to grow and improve, you do worry in some way about it, because
yeah,
it's a way of measuring your improvement. Sometimes it doesn't always
right,
work that way,
yeah,
but I think everyone who does stream in the back of their head somewhere is like, am I doing a good job? Is it reflecting? We're
yeah.
all out here seeking validation in some form or fashion. you
Definitely.
know
And it's so hard because there's no other metric, like quantifiable metric to judge how you're doing except that number. When in reality, it's like, are you enjoying yourself? Are you building up a community that you love? And are you having fun? Like, those are the important metrics, really. But in terms of, like,
I think
measuring.
that comes with time. I think the longer you get stuck in with it, and like, as your community does grow, like, you stop caring so much and start worrying more about, like, what's your immediate community and how things are going on there and how are the people there. Are you interacting with your friends, which a lot of times are your community? Like, are you doing that kind of stuff as opposed to like constantly focusing on other things that may not be so important, you know?
Yeah. I'm sorry for freaking out, but oh my god! Only you with the big raid! And thank you so much for the follows, by the way. Noah and Burrito Child. Welcome, I like your name. Ennui Star, I love you so much. What a cute bean. What a lovely, lovely sweetheart. Hello, Oni J. I miss you.
It's Oni. Hi,
Oni
hi,
J.
hi.
I freaking miss you. I'm glad you streamed. How was your stream? Beautiful. And hello, Gigamon Lucy. I miss you, Lucy. Welcome, Raiders. Hello, Jack. Is it Jack? Jack Alias and Lars Drakblood. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Kanashi needs an egg sandwich with sweet and spicy pickles. Azaka for real. It's Oni. If you guys have not checked out Oni, Oni is one of the sweetest, kindest people I know. They're super, super adorable and loving and sweet, and are a good friend. And I genuinely miss you, Oni. We need to hang out soon. I know you've been going through a lot. They recently got a hair implant surgery, which is very, very grueling. No, they didn't do that. But they are so beautiful. They're
much respect. That's tough.
No, they're beautiful and lovely, and I don't know what the heck they're doing, to be honest. But I really, really miss you, and thank you so, so much for the raid. You didn't have to do that. I'm glad you had a good stream. What were you doing? Were you doing more tier lists? Say so, tier lists.
Oh, no.
Hanny Meep! I love you. Thank you so much for the 2 months. I miss you, Hanny Meep. No! Why are you making me do this right now? Kyle.
You are cute.
I'm a big cutie, and I'm super cute, and I'm just cute.
This is true.
I'm adorable.
Thank you
and
for finally
I try my best to be cute all the time. People leave.
This hits so different in person. I'm so happy.
No, yeah. I do try to do cute things.
You are cute. What do you mean?
To be cute. I try. I am cute. It's true. I admit it.
Wow.
Oni, seriously, thank you for being such a good friend and always lurking. Like, I always see you lurking. And there are days lately, because I've been doing different content, and there are days when, my numbers aren't great, and I see... But then I see, like, who's lurking in chat, and I see all the people who are supporting me that I love, and I'm like, oh, I don't care about the numbers. It's just Oni's there. Oni's always lurking and being a good friend. And I really miss you. I miss, like... I know I don't want to put any pressure on you at all. I have you perma-tabbed when I can. Unfortunately, I feel like I'm always streaming when you are, but I always try to lurk you, and whenever you have a moment, like, no pressure. Just I just want to have one of those talks that we had last time and just vibe out and have a quiet night and hang out. Politely Wicked, I love you, and thank you for the hype train. How did that happen? Thank you for the 100 bits, Oni. And Hanny Meep, don't think I forgot how cute you are. I love you, Hanny Meep. And Tara GX, I love you so much. Wow, all girls being so cute. What a lucky sight. I love you, and I miss you, and I adore you. The cutest bald person on the Twitch.televisions. How dare you, Kitty DVR? You're the cutest. And then Oni can eat food off your bald head again.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I actually uploaded that clip to YouTube, Oni, the clip that you played for the Say So tier list. Have you seen that clip? Or I'm just
I was there the day.
Oh, you're the day.
I watched the heck out of Oni, actually. They're another one of those people that I always enjoy whenever I see them on.
They're great. Clarity, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Oni Ju. Thank you, Claire. I love Claire too. And Mushroom King.
Yo.
Mush_Room King. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome, Mushroom King. Whoa, Hayden 1755 comes in and says, what? What was that? Watch your fastballs. What does that mean?
I don't know.
What does that even mean? Oh, ball spin.
Isn't Freddy Fazbear animatronic? I feel like you'd get electrocuted,
What
It
are
seems a little unsafe.
fastballs? Is that how I sound? I love that voice you did reading my message. No, that's not how you sound. Watch them, poor K. Hi, Randos. How are you? I love you. And what did Oni say? Anytime, hun, just let me know. Always make time for you. Always make time for you. I'll let you know. I've been so busy this month. But I would love to spend some time with you and catch up and see how you're doing. Thank you so much for being here. I need a love command. My friend Link says like this command, if you type in exclamation point love, you just get all these heart emotes. I need to do that. I need to give love to Oni. Some exclamation point love here. Thank you, Oni. Oh, I can't cheer in my own channel. That's what I accidentally tried to do.
You and Oni are definitely two of the comfiest people on the platform.
Oh, you are one of the comfiest people on the platform, honestly.
I'm still working on it. One day I'll be able to stand upon the upper echelon of comf.
You are. You're
with
there.
Pillow in hand.
Do cringe. Who is this Hayden person?
I don't know. They seem very upsetty spaghetti about something. I don't know.
I don't know either. Hi, Kara's the Great. How are you, lovely? Oh, I miss you, Tara. By the way, hope you're doing well. I also love you, Violet. You big cutie. I miss you, Politely Wicked, and I miss Tasty Boba. Tasty's so cute. Like, we'll be hanging out, me, you, and Tasty and other people, and like I'll just be talking, and like 2 minutes later, Tasty will be like just completely passed out, just completely dead.
And I'm like, go to bed. They're like, no. I refuse.
Oni is super fantastic. Do you like egg sandwiches and sweet and spicy pickles, by the way?
No, I don't. And that is a terrible, terrible thing from yesterday. We got on the topic of pickles, and apparently there's these things called blood pickles that I'm not going to touch.
What are blood pickles?
Exactly what it sounds like.
What? They're pickles soaked in blood?
Apparently. This is what I am told.
Oh, no. What kind of blood? Like cow's blood? Like
probably like steak juice, that kind of thing. I assume. I'm just like, why?
Wait, that's a thing? Are blood pickles a thing? I'm sure they're a thing. Everything is a thing.
But... yeah, but I'm just like, regular pickles, please. Just baby dills, and I'm happy. Like, I don't need fancy blood pickles. I'm good. I'm good on all of that.
Good night, Katomi. Yeah, dance game for real. Dance game. I don't usually do this during the interviews, but I kind of want to put on some music, if that's okay.
No, you're A-okay. I have to do the same thing. I'm the type of human that I must have a soundtrack going on somewhere in my life. Otherwise, it feels very gray and bleak.
Yeah, me too. Like, I get kind of like anxious
yeah.
if there's no music playing in the background. Like during the interview, I've been doing okay, but near the end, I'm like, I need to put on some music or something.
I'm sorry. No, I'm joking. I'm gonna take another sip of my drink though, and I don't want to like headbutt your camera.
Thank you so much for gifting a sub to Tara. I love Tara and I love Violet. Violet's so cute. Thank you so much for the level 2 hype train, you guys. You're amazing. Thank you. And thank you, Oni, again for the raid, you precious sweetheart. I love you so much. Blah. Did you read a story tonight? What did he do? Lucy, I miss you too. I've been kind of Joe Mama 904. You're both so cute. Thank you. They are. I'm not a fan of them. Not a fan of blood pickles. Have you tried them? I'm just not a big blood fan. Like, when people are like, hey, you want to drink this blood? I'm like, no, thank you.
Do you hang out with vampires? Wait, what?
I hang out with Politely Wicked sometimes, and she's sweet enough to offer me blood, but...
Alright, hear me out. I've always had this thought of Politely, like, instead of being the normal vampire, they, like, sneak into your house, They tuck you in bed. They like prick you with like the blood draw needle, and they just read you a bedtime story while they draw the blood. And they're like, "Okay, have a good one."
Oh, that is like what Politely Wicked does. Yeah, she does what she needs to do, but she'll try to at least make you feel comfortable while she's doing it. Yeah. Hello, I really love this. Well, I'm glad you do, Big Beats. Welcome, by the way. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. I like your profile picture. This mix, I don't know what you like. This mix I'm listening to right now just dropped from one of my favorite YouTube, I guess, music compilers, Smooth Sounds. And I like it so far. It's comfy. I guess I could put it on the world, I guess.
It's if you want to. I've had the lo-fi going, just kind of.
Lo-fi is good too.
It's comfy.
Yeah.
You do have some really awesome music, though, I will say.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You have a really good taste in music. Were you with Oni J's channel, Big Beats? Xavi, I miss you, by the way. Xavi, my lovely friend Xavi, has been dating like a crazy woman. She's been getting so many suitors, and she's like DMing me like, "Oh, girls, like all these people have a crush on me, and I don't know what to do." And I'm like, "You do you, Xavi.
Enjoy life."
Enjoy life." Yeah, she's also been. I don't know if she has my avatar. She probably does have my avatar, or at least an older version of it. But she's been like using everyone's old avatars, or like all my friends' avatars, and like just hanging out of them. Like she'll use Addie's avatar, or I don't know. I just think it's really funny. Yes, sir. I love you so much. Thank you so much for stopping by. Yes, sir is another person who's been incredibly generous, and has been. I've never had this happen, so I never know what to do. But they've been donating like off stream. They've been dropping me like $100 donations off stream. Oh, by the way, I didn't mention they dropped me a $100 donation yesterday. So thank you, yes sir, for the $100 donation yesterday. And I honestly mean it when I say that, like, every time somebody donates to me, I try to invest it back into the stream, or invest it into, like, right now I was able to buy a ticket to TwitchCon, and it was all because of people like yes sir. Thank you so much for helping me meet other content creators and invest into my stream and stuff. And thank you. It honestly means a lot to me. I like don't feel like I have enough words to thank you guys for supporting me. And thank you again, Egregious. I don't know if they're still here, but yes sir. And yes sir is such an adorable being. They're very shy, which is fine. We're all shy, but they use such a cute model. They're so adorable and lovely and sweet and comfy. I'm doing well, Big Beats. Thanks for asking. Hope you're doing well. And I love Violet. Violet, we still need to go on our date, by the way.
Well, did Violet redeem the date?
Violet redeemed the date, and I couldn't refund it, so I have to. Yeah.
Good job, Violet. Good job.
I mean, we just need to hang out more in general, Violet. I love you. Venom Ghost, hello. And I don't know if I thanked you already, Orange Cross, but thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. And for everyone who's still here from Oni's community, thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting my lovely friend Oni, who's one of the most kind-hearted, precious beings that I know. They're so lovely. I actually wanted to do something that they did a little while ago, which is the Say So tier list.
That would be cool.
Yeah. I think you would be S tier. Well,
I don't know. You know me too well.
Yeah. Off-stream Kana could be like not. I won't say what tier I would actually put you on, but I'll say you're not S tier. But on stream
immersion
Kana,
broken.
just the conversation we had on Saturday or something, or Friday.
I did not instigate that conversation, first of all.
True, I was one of the instigators. Yeah.
I just happened to be there at a very inopportune moment.
I mean, let me get to. I learned some things. I actually learned things from the conversation. Put me on S tier, right? Is there a world where Kitty DVR is on S tier? Say so. I think when you were talking with me during our interview, and you were talking about life and your family and stuff, that was pretty S tier wholesome and say so. But then there are times when you're like, oh girls, let me show you about the shader and stuff, and I'm like, oh no. Also, hi Bob Sue.
Oh, Bob's legs, nice. Were they the one that introduced you to the magical shader?
No, I'll call that person out specifically. That was Shaman XI. There was also a friend, my friend Contrastion, who you guys see on stream sometimes once in a while. She, people leaves is good idea. Lucy Mia is S tier, for sure. My friend Contrast, I didn't even really know about the shader, except people had it. And we were cuddling one day, and me and my friend were cuddling, and she was like, you gotta get the shader. And I was like, what? It's like, if you want to do anything, you gotta get the shader. And I was like, alright, I'll get the shader. And so I got an avatar with the shader, and my friend, I don't know why I'm talking about this, but anyway, Kitty DVR showed me the shader one time. Lamina Lynn, I missed you so much. I love you and adore you so much. I miss you. I miss you. I miss your beautiful voice. Can we get a shout out for Lynn? She has one of the most comfy voices in the world, and I love her, and I love Etel, and I'm sorry you had to come back to me talking about the shader. Figure,
my fault. Blame me.
Blame
me.
Kitty DVR for the shader.
I mean, it is cool. You can make cool stuff like Babe. I saw a working Beyblade launcher once. That was cool. Or hands in
what?
What? Yeah, like the ripcord thing, right? Worked off of the shader. Like they could like insert it into the launcher and like zing and like launch a Beyblade with it. It was cool.
I actually have a friend. Her name is Harles, and she's designing an avatar which uses the shader's properties as like pockets. Yeah, as pockets. That's so cool. Do you know Harles?
Yeah.
Claire. Yep.
Not super well, but like I've interacted with them a few times. They're super sweet. They're super nice person.
Claire, thank you so much for gifting another sub to Lim. You don't have to. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Lamina Lynn is one of the most, I'm not gonna be done gushing about her. She is one of the comfiest, lovely voices that I've ever heard in my life. Her demeanor is so sweet. I forget, do you have a VR, Lynn? I think she does, I'm not sure. But we have to hang out because I just want to cuddle your sweet face. You are so lovely. Carl's cutely, politely cutely, the famous strategy game in Hearthstone Battlegrounds master. Politely okay. You have a vibe? We gotta hang out. We need to hang out, Lynn. I miss your brain. I miss you. I was gonna say I miss your brains, which I do. I miss eating your delicious brains. But
my God.
I miss you, and I miss eating Atwal's brains. I miss Atwal, and I love her so much. Hello, I hope you're doing good there. I'm doing good, Sibo man. It's good to see you, lovely. How are you? Lynn, where have you been? The shader is funny to me. Obalt shake, Obalt spin. Hello with the cookie. How are you? How are you, lovely? Thanks for stopping by. Lucia's SSS tier. What are we rating? Venom Ghost, what are we rating? We're rating people who are say-so, like the say-so tier list. So all my friends, pretty much. I would put kind of like A or S tier. Like people like Veti, Lumi Chu, Lucy Mia are S tier.
Those people are S tier. I think I'm
They're
like
S
AB tier. AB tier is a fair assessment.
I think A tier. I think you're A tier. I was at first thinking I should be on A tier, but I'm definitely not. I'm a B tier.
I think you are. I think even through everything, like nothing's ever been like so off kilter. Even that weird conversation from yesterday.
It wasn't that
the day
weird.
before. It really wasn't. I mean, okay. It was weird one to walk directly into. But with context,
yeah.
it's not that odd.
Hello, lovely.
It is love.
Lucia's SSS tier. That is true. Lucy is incredibly wholesome. Hello, Jeremiah69. Welcome. Thank you for the follow. I'm doing good. I'm glad to hear that, Sipo man. It's good to see you. I would love to hang out with you, Lynn. Are we friends in VR? I need to check immediately. I don't know, actually. Are we friends in VR? No, she is not around Trax, LMAO. Wait, Lucy is not wholesome around Traxy? Adja coming in, exposing you. Stop talking about me, says Lucy. Can we get a shout out for I'm Lucy Mia? I'm F tier, right? Politely Wicked might actually be in the S tier, say so. I have never heard her say anything lewd in my life.
I've rarely heard her even utter a curse word, much less. And
Thank you, Zavy. No, she doesn't curse either.
Yeah, and if you ever like, even like in the most like environments where like most people would be like let loose, no, Politely is the same person you get all the time, every time. They're amazing. They're another wonderful friend that I've made because of VR and just all this in general. That's been invaluable to like one's mental health as someone you can like talk to sometimes.
Yeah.
Because they're so chillaxed, very, very comfy.
Yeah, boy. Hello, me Gooman 7W. It's a tasty gasm. Well, I have actually not seen that tasty gasm emote. That's pretty hilarious.
Oh my god.
The zooming in and out. Tasty gasm. Lucy goes from S tier to like F tier on Traxy. Adjakar is a random who lurks chill. Adja is cool. Definite F tier for Tasty Burger.
I'm sorry.
Tasty. What would you put Tasty? I put Tasty like B or C tier. Tasty. I don't know.
So, and this is only because they're penchant for wild jokes. I think definitely C or B, because like they like to have fun and they're definitely a lot more open about like what they'll say and stuff. But that's not necessarily a bad thing though.
Yeah.
You know, life is not all about being S tier, say so. Have fun with us down in F tier sometime, you know.
You're not an F tier.
We like to party.
On stream, anyway. Keep up with the good work and making us smile. Thank you, Jeremiah. Thank you for the sweet
Death
words.
by 1,000 cuts. Slowly.
Hi, it's Little Light Dreamer 84. Hello, Little Lily. Welcome back. How are you? Hey, what? I was off Twitch for months and I got a level 1 sub from you. Really? It happens. I don't know what you're talking about, but she only swore once, and I was in text. And it was in text when she was quoting someone. Oh, you mean Politely Wicked? Politely Wicked, you're more special than you think. She says I'm nothing special, Politely Spin.
She's a gem.
She is a
blessing
gem.
upon the land. She really is. I've heard Politely cuss like one time, and it freaked me out. Like, genuinely, it scared me. I was like, what is this?
Hey, I'm Brian. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. I don't know when you sent it to me. Was it me that sent it to you? Really? Wait, did you get a sub from my channel, or did I gift you a sub on another channel? Megumin. Because if it was on my channel, then I don't know. Just got here and I'm a little confused on what's going on. Well, thank you for the follow, even though you're confused on what's going on. So what's going on is I'm interviewing my lovely friend Kana. We are nearing the end, and I opened up chat. And if anyone has any questions for Kana, I know a lot of you just got here, but we're just vibing out right now. And I know you probably have to get going in a little bit, right? Are you?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's 10:41. Holy heck.
Yeah. Whenever you need to go, just let me know. And
I'm trying to just vibe as long as you want things to go, obviously, because I know I'm having fun, just relaxing and spending time with a friend. Really, at the end of the day.
Hi, Ben Gorth. Hello. Welcome. Oh, are they from your community?
They are a wonderful being. I love Bangor dearly. They're a good friendo.
So how about we kind of finish we'll finish the interview, and then like I can like end the YouTube recording part, and then we can just vibe for however long, and then you can just feel free to, whenever you need to get going, you can get going. So once again, this is my lovely friend Kanashi Noir, and we've been talking about, what have we been talking? We're talking about VR and a lot about your parenting in VR, which I found very interesting. And we talked about love and finding yourself and like just the ways VR has kind of helped you and helped me IRL, and the ways that it can be a great way to connect with people and spend quality time with those that you love, and just being a very kind and comfy person, I think is, I guess a closing question, maybe. I don't know. Do I have one? I don't really have one. I mean, my real closing question was just like, you know, I mean, you're streaming right now, and you have goals and plans for making other content on TikTok and on YouTube and stuff. And yeah, when's your next stream?
Well, tonight, later.
Oh, you're gonna stream later? KW. Okay.
Yeah, I always do. Well, it's 10:43 now. I typically don't start till like midnight my time.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
okay.
And I debated. I was like, well, I'm going to be doing this kind of thing. So that's still kind of up in the air, being it is a Sunday. So I don't know. But if I did, it's just going to be goofing off really on desktop, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because, you know, I usually only like allot so much time in VR. Like once my trackers die, that's the end of the night for me most of the time.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you so much for the follow, Lily, by the way. Yeah. By the way, I wanted to mention that you get no sleep. You sleep like 1 hour. No, you sleep 3 hours a day, is what you told me. But
I try. So I'll get like an hour or two
try to sleep through
before work, and then if I have time after work, I'll sneak in another 2 hours or so. You know, here and there.
I mean,
I make it happen.
That's incredible. Has that been a thing since, like, how long has that been a thing for, that you've been sleeping 3 hours
Since
a
I
day?
started streaming.
Since you started streaming? I guess you would have been sleeping during that time.
Yeah, I used to stay up, play some video games, but I would just zonk out and, you know, sleep. I could sleep for 12 hours. On the weekends, I catch up on sleep, actually. So that's my secret. I get like 14 to 16 hours during the weekend, and then supplement that, you know, throughout the week with an hour here and there.
So, I really wish you would get more sleep. But,
I know.
Play All Consoles said something very, very sweet. And thank you for being here the whole time, Play All Consoles. No questions, but I had said earlier that despite saying that they were a horrible kid, Kana has put a lot of thought into being a good parent. Not sure if they can read this, so would you mind letting them know? And I think, I mean, I honestly, I really look up to you in that way. If I ever become a parent, you're the kind of parent that I would want to be. And I wish my dad was like you. I wish my parents were like you, honestly. Like, cause yeah.
No. I interrupt.
Well, no, it's okay. My mom was an angel. She had her faults. My dad was a total jerk. Had some redeeming qualities, but it was a love-hate relationship with him. And definitely, I was left alone all the time. And I felt like, I mean, they were working and they had their own restaurant and stuff. And so I can't blame them too much. But I guess the thought and care that you put into being a parent, I think is so admirable and so lovely. And I think, I think the way you think about guiding your daughter, and like not in an overly obsessive and like, you know, I'm sure you let her have her space to do whatever, but like just making sure that she's not going to rotten.com or something,
Yeah.
or like, you know, like
Part of growing up, I want her to make mistakes, right?
Yeah.
That is part of being, but it's my job to maybe help mitigate some of what happens so they're not too big, you know, but like learning experiences and, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. I just
Making mistakes is human, you know.
It's definitely human. And you know, they can hurt sometimes, but if you look at your mistakes as just learning opportunities, and I know that's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. Don't take mistakes personally. Like, don't be like, I messed up because I'm a loser and I failed. Everyone makes mistakes and everyone fails. It's just how you learn from them and the lessons that you learn from them.
I have the cheesiest saying because of that too, and I'm not sure where I heard it or how it got ingrained, but like whenever she drops something or like spills or whatever, something I've started like doing is because she'll be like immediately like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm like,
Oh,
being sorry doesn't fix. Sorry doesn't solve the problem, right?
that's
Sorry
so
doesn't
cute
create
that she's...
thing. I'm like, but learning from what we did wrong helps create future solutions to make those problems maybe not exist, right? So instead of telling me sorry 1,000 times, just like, hey, acknowledge it happened, and then we figure out a way to fix the problem, and then we learn so that the problem doesn't happen again, you know?
Yeah. I just thought it was really cute and funny to imagine both your daughter and you going, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. You're so dull. I say sorry a lot too for whatever reason. I think it's good practice, but you don't have to be sorry. Spin, you're adorable and bright. Also, I've been hyped. Oh, a gay lesbian is here. I love you, a gay lesbian. I love you so much, a gay lesbian. That's my friend Allie. She is great. I don't know if you saw, she was at the community meetup for a little while. As Allie. I love you, Allie. I miss you. I hope you've been doing good. After this week, I'll try to find some time to play Destiny with you, Allie. I miss you a lot. I hope you're doing well. It's only a failure or mistake if you don't learn something from it. That is very true. That's very true. Is there anything you want to plug before you go, before we end the recording?
No, nothing in particular. I've had an enjoyable time talking with
Thank
friends.
you so much for being here. It was honestly amazing, and
thank you for inviting me.
It was just a really, really comfy conversation.
I feel super honored, actually, like genuinely, like for the opportunity. So thank you.
Of course, I'm, you know, you're at the top of the list of people that I love and that I just am happy to be around and call my friend, and I mean that. So yeah, this is my guest, Kanashi, and I guess everyone's doing some Kanashi spins right now. The Kanashi spin.
Monka spin.
Spin. Amazing interview. Thank you for being here, Tasty Burger. Since Kana's not going to plug anything, I will. It's twitch.tv/Kanashi_noir. Is your TikTok the same too? Kanashi Noir? Kanashi_noir?
The same across all platforms.
Same across all platforms. I believe your Twitter is just Kanashi Noir with no underscore.
Yeah, no underscore, because I don't think they allowed that at the time.
And they're also doing a podcast every week. One of their guests was the lovely Tasty Burger, the JK Unless podcast. You can see that on their Twitch channel.
Hopefully one day we can get the old girls there too.
I would love to be on it. Just let me know. We'll plan it. I will be on it. And I think I'm going to end the recording there. Bye-bye, you guys. I love you. I love you. I love you. Mwah. And thank you again, Kana, for being here. Have a good night, everyone, or a good day. And that will be the end of the recording there. I'll put the timestamp 250. But I'm actually staying, KekW, for a little bit. It's not over. It's not over. I will be leaving a little bit soon, just because I have work in the morning. Feels bad, man. I'm staying. Yes, sir. I'm staying. That was just the end of the recording. But I'll probably stay for another 10 or 15 minutes. I can't stay super long. Ending soon. Goomy Bear. I love you so much, Goomy Bear. Can you remind Kana that they're cute for us? Hot Dog says you're cute.
Hot Dog, why are you gonna lie to me like that?
Oh, works. Part of me actually wanted to switch to desktop mode and sing you guys some songs, because I sang on Puck's podcast, or not Puck's show today, and I haven't sang for a while on stream, but maybe I'll save that for another time. Maybe I'll just tease that. But I do miss playing music. I really miss playing music on a Boo Earns. Boo Earns. Yeah, Boo Work is true.